about sin is harmful, by the way.
I'll probably be back in like 30 minutes, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, I was probably gonna go check out some other lives, see what's going on. I'm
Yeah,
bored.
you can hop off.
But yeah, Shark, good to see you, dude. Shark. Yo, these
I
events,
sent you.
these
I
events
sent
have
you
been
two.
awesome.
I sent you two videos on Discord that I hope you look over to give you just to add some information to. I'm not telling you have to change your perspective. I'm just giving you new information to add to your perspective.
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about that? So wait, how do you feel about the Charlie Kirk thing? I mean,
I think that I think you've created a space where individuals are not safe to talk about Charlie Kirk here, respectfully.
wait, why? Because of like what happened with Fredo and like Matthew and everyone breaking out all over him.
I think that you enable terroristic behavior. I say this with love.
I mean,
I'm not. Yeah.
fair, yeah. Like, because I mean, like, given
Your
the,
space in this topic is very immature. It's very aggressive. It is not open-minded. It's very vitriolic.
I feel that
It's
yeah.
dangerous, right? So like, yeah, if you wanna watch over the videos and you want to DM about it, that's fine. But yeah, I think you enable people who are just as dangerous as the individuals who you claim to fear.
It's actually like
I think that if you were to think of it like this, right?
Yeah.
If you were to give the people who you allow on this space the same audience and the same power that Charlie Kirk had, they would do far more damage than he did.
I think that's a bit. But no, like I get what you're saying. No, what you're saying is insightful. And then yeah, like admittedly, like I'm not like intending to like we should harm people who like believe this about Charlie Kirk. But yeah, looking at the
No, but
lives,
you as the host are in, like, imagine, just pretend that in this space you had like 100,000 people listening, right?
yeah,
And you're the host, and
And
you're letting these conversations happening. You're the reason that they're happening with the context of your space.
yeah. I'm not like stepping in to like stop.
You're not
people.
stepping in. And by the way, you've been doing a great job of putting your foot down. You've been setting boundaries better. You've been recognizing that people aren't listening to you when you're serious. Great work on that, right?
Yeah.
But apply that to when like, I know that you're disassociating sometimes. You just want to listen to the noise, but some of the noise is literally just hateful, violent rhetoric, while people are pretending that they're not guilty of doing the exact same thing. It's very dishonest. It is very dangerous. And if you want to take this platform seriously and professional, understand, Coco, there's countless people who are clipping people, sending it around, and targeting people. And if there would have been more than 40 people in your live, this isn't just about winning or losing a debate, Coco. Your life could have been in danger from that.
Oh yeah. I know that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Then why would you allow that? Why do you allow individuals who are not sharing? Remember, your phrase used to be, let the best ideas win, right?
Yeah.
And atheism is not an idea, okay? It's the lack of an idea. Individuals...
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, like psychologically, yeah. Philosophically, no.
It's the lack of an idea, and it is only when an individual accepts pantheism or naturalism, monism, whatever, that then you can have a conversation about their ideas. But
Or
if
like-
you allow... Sorry?
Or like if someone's saying like I lack a belief in God, then like it's a lack of an idea. But if someone's like saying God doesn't exist, here's my worldview for that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay. Yeah. That's fine. An individual affirming the proposition there is no God, now we can have an epistemic conversation, right? Yeah. They're affirming something. But you have made a lot of friends with individuals who just terrorize other people with beliefs while never having or presenting a sincere, consistent worldview. And so they're never held to that standard. So you're letting these people virtue signal over and over and over again about how horrible everybody else is, but their feet are never held to the fire because they are not making a claim. And if they're not making a claim, then what ideas are you presenting? What ideas are you enabling by allowing them in your space? How you doing, Pigeon?
Good, Shark. How are you?
Better than I deserve, brother. It's gonna be hot the next couple of days. I'm not a fan of that.
Did you guys not hear the last couple of things, or did you hear everything?
No,
We have
you
not heard anything you said for 15 seconds.
Oh, okay. But no, I think you're right, actually. I didn't really notice it. Like, I kind of just, like, looked over it. It's like, whatever, we're talking. But, but yeah, I've kind of just been, like, stepping back, and people have been, like, verbally,
I have an
like,
idea. Sorry to interrupt you, but I have an idea. You let me know if you like this or hate this, okay?
yeah.
Every individual who comes up, people ask, what's your age? Some people ask for the race. Please don't do that. It's your space. You can do whatever you want. But I think the second you talk about race, the conversation becomes racist, right? By definition. It's just trivially the case. And so what I think, bare minimum, you ask individuals, what is your system of epistemology? And I think you should write that down.
Yeah, okay. Or just, like, what do you believe in?
Yeah, what system of epistemology? What's your theory of knowledge? Because they have to have something. If not, and they're just like asking questions over and over. If they're an agnostic and they're like sincere or humble, they're just learning. They're like Missy kind of, right? She can get spicy a little too much sometimes, but I don't know. I don't even know if I have a good example. Just imagine just like someone who's sincere, really. Oh, I don't know if you know Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is a great example.
Oh, no, I don't know.
He's basically he acknowledges he doesn't really know what's going on. He's analyzing language and he's consistent about it and he doesn't press anybody, right? That's fine. But if an individual is like that and then tells somebody else that they're dumb or they don't make sense or they're a bad person, well, what are we comparing that to? And the comparison should be something that they're self-reflecting on. If they're not self-reflecting on something personal, then they have no standard to be able to be saying that to anybody else.
Wait, so...
Because they're not... Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Wait, no, so, like, what you're saying is kind of like the French Revolution. Like, at first, like, so, like, it's like we're sitting here, we're bashing Charlie Kirk, and we're bashing, like, people who, like, cry about him, right? And at first, it's like we're attacking the bad guys, but then there comes a point where the table flips, and these people who think
you're
that
the bad guy.
Yeah, people are becoming the bad guys in an attempt to attack the bad guys.
Yes.
And we're becoming what we hate, and probably even worse than.
Yeah, you become the monster. So this is what's happening. And if you take my word seriously, and I think that you're starting to value my words, and I appreciate that, right? Because I value your word, I value my word, and I try to do goodness with that, right? I try to participate with goodness. When you're afraid of a monster so much that you start studying the monster, you learning the monster, because you need to become scarier than the monster. Then you reflect that monster onto others unintentionally.
Yeah.
It becomes you. And that's what's happening on this space, in your space, on TikTok, in public, in the political sphere. Everybody is acting defensively. They're trying to win. They're trying to dominate. They're trying to terrorize. And it's because of a system of indoctrination, both religiously, socially, politically. The American public education system is an abomination. It commits acts of sexual violence more than the Catholic Church, but that's not discussed. We have to come together and realize that we may be opponents with ideas.
Is that the Catholic study? Is that the Catholic study that claims that public schools have more instances of essay abuse than the Catholic schools do? Because the issue is that it's the Catholic churches that have more instances of abuse than public schools. Or are you saying that there's a reporting issue?
I'm not sure if it was a Catholic study. I'll have to look that up. But I
completely biased Catholic study done by like the Catholic Church itself.
Sure. Can we agree that both the American public...
Catholic only talking point.
Can we agree that both I'm not Catholic, so I couldn't care less, right? Can we agree that both the Catholic Church...
It's on the internet, but it's only a Catholic talking point.
Wait, hold on, but what were we going to say, Shark?
Yeah. Do we agree that both the public education system and the Catholic Church are guilty of essaying children and falling short of a good standard that is not indoctrination? Both of them.
Yes, we can get that, right?
No, because there's a big distinction in teachers facing criminal charges and cardinals and what's the one above cardinals?
My proposition is both of them are guilty of that.
cardinals and archbishops, in influencing both families and local politicians to make sure that priests are not prosecuted. It's a very
So right now, hang on. This is the dishonesty. I don't appreciate this at all. Okay? My proposition has nothing to do with the prosecution. And by the way, Coco, I do not consent to talking to this individual next to me. He's one of the individuals I'm talking about.
Yeah, it might
Well,
get
that's okay.
spicy.
You're the one that took my toy last time.
Yeah,
Uh,
like
Nephew, Shark.
like Coco, he's literally telling you out loud repeatedly he views and treats human beings as toys.
Wait, Angry, I'll bring you back later. I do want to talk to Shark. So, like, let me bring you back later.
So my proposition is both are guilty of that. Okay, I can even, like, for the sake of it, Pigeon, I can even grant that you might be right. Maybe the Catholic priests, the pastors, whatever they're called, they're not prosecuted enough. Okay, fair.
okay.
Cool. So they're not prosecuted enough, but both are guilty of it. Yes?
Yeah, both are guilty of it.
Okay. So now that we know that both establishments, both institutions are guilty, then we should not be siding with either of these institutions because both are guilty. Okay? What we should be doing is analyzing for the well-being of our children and future children to come, how do we better both of these systems? Can we improve both of these systems? If we just turn them into an enemy, then we can't better them. We're just trying to destroy them. If we're just trying to destroy them, then we are at war. If we are at war, then there is no reason to be logical about this because we're making up the rules of war. If me and Pigeon are at war, Pigeon, let me know if you disagree with this. Pigeon, if me and you are truly at war, there are no rules. The rules are whatever me and you decide, and we don't even have to agree on them.
You know, I should have known
Correct.
this. Wait, hold on. Like, I do know this, but for some reason I forget. But, like, that's very okay. I know that we talked about this. Like, I'm just regurgitating the same thing. But, like, in an attempt to squash my enemies, sometimes I become my enemies, and then, like, people are looking at me and they're seeing my enemies.
Yes, when you I hope this is a very difficult pill for you to swallow, okay? But I mean this with love, okay?
Yeah.
Every moment you told me how much you hated I Wonder, all I saw was how I Wonder treated you.
Yeah. And that's based.
You became him.
Yeah.
And
But I
so
mean-
if you are modeling individuals who you hate, you're the thing you hate.
Interesting. Okay, and then yeah, no, that's based.
The rules of war, as far as I understand, only exist from my side. So let's say that Coco's on my side and Pigeon, you get to pick whoever you want. You want to have Snooki? I haven't heard that name in forever. I have no idea
Jersey
why
Shore?
that's. Yeah, I have no idea why that's the name that came to my mind, dude. That's insane. Pigeon, you want Snooki?
I'll take Haru.
Okay, you can have Haru, right? So, from my understanding, it would only be a war crime if Coco betrayed me, given my standard of what a war crime is. But Haru can't commit a war crime against me. That's his rules. Or actually, it would be Pigeon's rules because he's the commander of the army. But the point is if you guys are comfortable being at war, then you have to be okay and you have to be comfortable with someone like me calling you a terrorist. And I don't think you're comfortable with me calling you a terrorist. I think that word becomes real to everybody who I say it to, because that's not a political talking point. And that becomes real. And I don't think we should be terrorizing each other. I shouldn't be terrorizing you. You shouldn't be terrorizing me. We should be exchanging ideas honestly. We should be self-reflecting on these ideas with these ideas.
Wait, so what do you think about the other big debaters? Like when Ian or Deconstruction Justin is like ripping people apart.
Same stand.
Same
Yep.
standard, they're part of the problem?
Yep.
Interesting.
I've been talking to Rav in the last couple of days. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yes, he's the same thing as Anna. They're what is it called?
You got it.
But you know, like the word that comes with rabbis.
Yep, there you go. I gave you time. Yeah, I've been talking to him. I think he would be someone amazing to have on your platform.
Yeah,
He is someone who is going to allow people to speak openly, and he's going to be able to provide crucial information to be able to bridge gaps. He has a very civilized kind of strategy,
oh, what happened?
and I respect it. Huh?
Oh, nothing. Oh, okay.
But like he's willing to talk about God. He's a Jewish rabbi. He's not telling everybody that they're wrong, but rather, we need to be able to be exchanging ideas. People should be able to self-define things so that they can form a greater understanding for this experience. That's how people learn. Because Coco, it's not just about. I know that the chaos is fun. I know that when someone roasts somebody or cooks somebody, it's like, oh, we're at the cafeteria lunch table all over again, right?
Yeah. But we're trying to make the world a better place. We're trying to exchange ideas and like.
If that's your goal, right? Then that's what you have to be consistent with. And unfortunately, Coco, the people who you platform, they won't like that. They want the chaos. They're at a lunch table right now, right? And you're going to have to consistently put your foot down. You're going to consistently have to set the standards because it's your space. And you know that how many viewers are you averaging in the last debate? Or how many do you predict?
Actually, like, yeah, for every debate we've been doing really good, like about like 100. But like I know that's not a lot, but like it's better.
No, that is a lot.
It's better than It's better than what we were doing. Oh, is anyone saying anything right now?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Say it again.
Okay. Yeah, influencing 100 people is a lot.
Yeah.
What are you influencing those people to do? What ideas are they listening to? What word is going in their subconscious for them to analyze? What sentences? What about the treatment of each other? Are they witnessing and experiencing empathetic dialogues, or are they listening to linguistic warfare?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's been linguistic warfare.
And if it's just linguistic warfare over and over and over, and they're learning from you, Coco, they're learning from the people who you platform, then that's how they're going to talk.
Yeah, and that's kind of been this whole like Charlie Kirk thing.
Right. It's just people yelling at each other instead of them being able to talk about ideas. I disagreed with Kirk like 80% of the time, right?
Yeah.
But his ability and willingness to talk to anybody, right? Was he always honest? Nope. Was he always accurate? Nope. Was he willing to talk to anybody in those spaces? Yep. And that's what's missing. What's missing is our ability to civilly speak with people, with each other. And it's because we're defensive. It's because we don't understand. We don't know how to speak. We don't know what words are. We don't know what our word is. We don't believe in goodness beyond a taste preference. And arguing is fun.
Yeah.
But it's hurting people.
Yeah. I mean,
You've been doing a great job recently, Coco.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I'm excited that I've been doing.
Not that one night with Fredo though. That was atrocious.
That
You
was-
should. I know you won't like this language, but I think deep down you need to repent for that night. That was horrible.
I mean, like we both got heated at each other, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna crush this individual now.
Yeah. No. You know what's interesting? I'm not even talking about the debate with him. That was the best debate you have ever done. Okay. That was the most confidence you've ever had. That's the most I've ever believed you. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is what happened afterward. How long you allowed that to continue.
Everybody mistreating him and punching down on him.
Yes. You allowed a mob of orcas to come up and just feast. It didn't matter what he said. It did not matter. So what was the point? What's the goal?
Yeah, that's true. Like nobody in the room's trying to like learn or understand. They're just
No,
punching.
they're literally attacking something. When people say something, listen to their word. Do you think that it's appropriate? If I were to tell you, hey, Coco, I'm going to treat Pigeon like a toy right now, what would you think about that?
I mean, it's dehumanizing, yeah. But like,
Is that appropriate?
I mean, like, Angry Atheist is my friend. Like, I don't have any issues against him, but yeah, I wouldn't say it because I like to treat people like people.
Okay, like, I don't know what you mean by friend. What's a friend?
I guess he's like an online friend. He's well, actually, no, yeah, he's my friend. He's someone I share ideas with and I would hang out with in real life. We live in the same city.
Coco, do you remember what we went over about what we thought a friend was before?
Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying now is probably going to contradict that.
Do you actually think that that's the kind of individual who would walk with you after you do something bad? Really? Really?
I mean, you never know.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know, man.
You never know. He might be a ride or die.
Angry editor is very emotional.
I guess we can look back on this in 3 to 6 months when you go, "Hey, Shark, you were right again."
Yeah, I have been saying like, yeah,
Yo, who brought him up? This is gonna be funny as fuck.
It's not going to be funny because I don't consent.
Wait, yeah, well, we're not gonna do the shouting match. I just want to like chill and talk. I want to talk to Shark.
If that's
like,
good, yeah, no. If you want him up, I'll just drop. If that's the space you want, Coco, you can have it.
No, like I just want to talk to Shark. I'm actually like, I'm waist deep in like talking to Shark right now. I'm not really interested in like shifting the thing, but like. I have to think these things through, but like no, I'm not enemies.
Like Coco, even what I'm doing right now, right? They're boundaries, right? They're boundaries with who I am willing to even give my time or whatever to. And people can call me names. They can say I'm running or swimming or whatever. It doesn't bother me. The tactics aren't going to work because I'm really trying to just spread a good message with good words with considerate, open-minded people who have a genuine epistemology. Like me and Hierophant, we don't agree on everything. But I think he's a genuine interlocutor, right? I think that ISO crossed the line the other day, but I think he's a genuine interlocutor.
Well, you said you'd never talk to me again.
I'm still talking to Coco.
I'm bad, but I'm just saying, like, I hurt. I was like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah,
when we're processing,
Shark, I'm just gonna say, like, when I say that I regret something, I mean it, right? Like, you're trying to
I know, man.
me.
I'm also processing it as well, right? We're all processing it, right? And I think that it's very important for people to become better at setting boundaries, right? So whether it's today or tomorrow or whatever, we can talk about the words again. It was tough, man. I think that was one of the most traumatizing things that has happened to Americans in a long time because we watched it, right? Like there's a huge difference between reading about it and seeing the words about what's happening versus literally witnessing it.
I think we've witnessed a lot as Americans. It's just now it happened to someone that's just divisive, and so it caused a lot of issues. But
I think if it was anybody, literally, it could have been somebody random on the street. And if that video was as publicized with a face we didn't know, we would have had the same reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, can I jump in real quick, guys?
Hold on.
Wait, one second.
Wait, who is it?
This is JRN69.
Wait, no. Shark, I'll disagree, Shark. The reason
I don't care. Coco, if you wanna continue talking.
No.
I'm not doing this. Coco, I only came up to talk to Missy, and I'm willing to talk to you. This whole this entitlement to think that because I'm in a space, I'm obligated to just answer questions that are thrown my way. And no disrespect, Bobby, this is just consistent what people do to me, right? And normally I bite. Normally I take the bait. I'm done, all right? I'm talking to Coco right now. Maybe we can talk later. You can DM me, so on and so forth. If Coco's done with the conversation, I can drop. This isn't my space. But I'm not doing this anymore, man. I'm done arguing. I'm done yelling. I'm done talking about penis all day, P1, P2, P3. I want us to self-reflect and talk about our good word. That's it.
Okay, wait. Actually, I do want to do a 1v1 with Shark. That's what I'm mostly interested in right now.
All right, you guys go at it.
So okay, I'm gonna drop everyone and bring only Shark up. Bet.
Yeah.
But okay, but no. Okay, so actually, no, yeah, a lot of the stuff you've been saying, I agree with. Okay, I've already apologized. I was rude about the God being the word thing. I don't really understand or really agree with that thing. but that doesn't mean I have to like rip your spine out because of it. But
That's okay. I understand that the language it's so vague that it's confusing. It is simultaneously vague and specific at the same time. I understand the confusion, right?
yeah.
So, I'm more interested in like, have you reached out to Fredo and apologized to him?
No,
Okay,
but
maybe you don't have to. You
but
don't have to.
I did apologize like on the live, but I guess like it should be more like, like thorough.
Personal,
Yeah.
right? Like, because Coco, do we agree truth is personal?
Depends.
If truth is impersonal, can you believe it?
Yeah.
You're the thing believing the truth. Are you a person?
Yeah, I'm a person, but like I see truth as like objective. Like it's not like a person, like, because everyone can say what they think the truth is, but there's one objective truth that like nobody can deny. It doesn't have to be like
We can deny everything, man. I can deny that you exist. You can deny that I exist. You can deny that you exist.
But like,
right?
I mean, like, could we deny that gravity exists?
Yeah, people deny whether or not Earth is flat or a sphere. They deny the moon landing. They deny the moon. Yeah, people deny everything. When someone is saying that is true, they're saying I believe it, and they're saying that they believe it maybe because of faith, maybe because of their upbringing, maybe because of a specific motivation through an epistemic system or a theory, specific definitions. But ultimately, when I ask them, why do you believe that, right? It's personal to them.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not having a conversation with a mindless thing, right? Are you mindless?
No.
Right. So every single thing that you're claiming is true is mind dependent, right?
Well, it's mind dependent in regards to whether you believe it to be true.
Yeah, that's what I'm analyzing. I'm analyzing your beliefs.
Yeah, so I would say yeah, beliefs. I guess beliefs and truth can be like personal or subjective, but I mean like it's really more so like beliefs. Like what you believe is like personal or like subjective. Well, subjective is not the word you were using, but like personal or
Yeah, personal. If something is not personal, and I want to have a personal conversation, can I talk to you?
Yeah, you could talk to me and have a personal conversation.
How could I do that if truth is impersonal?
How can you have a conversation with me if truth isn't personal?
Yeah.
I guess like I can grant that, but like let's say two people look at the sky, and like one person says that it's blue, one person says that it's like red.
Are both of them being honest?
Yeah, they're both being honest.
Then they're both right.
Yeah, like I guess they're both telling their own personal truths, but
They're
like,
both being honest. That's the standard. The standard for self-expression is honesty.
wait, so you don't believe like there's something outside of us that's like objectively the answer? Like we're all looking for that objective answer. And, like,
I think what is objective is a necessary presupposition of meaning. It's connection. Yeah. It's truth with a capital T. It's connection with a capital C. And so when I'm talking to people, what semantic theism is testing, right here, I'll show all my cards, okay? Semantic theism is the theory and ability to test if somebody is a liar.
Yeah, which like I agree with you. I think that when we have these conversations about God, everybody is using their personal language system, and we have
Every
to,
time.
Yeah, we have to agree on like what we think God is, and then dispute that.
Every time.
Every time, yeah.
So if that's happening every time, and every language system is personal, then the individual who you're talking to has to have a language system. If they don't, then they don't even know what they're saying. If they don't know what they're saying, should I talk to them?
No, they need to be able to define and like have a belief that they hold or something.
Right. So as soon as an individual demonstrates they are vitriolic, treat people as objects, they don't treat them as persons, and they don't care to learn, and they don't demonstrate to learn, they're not allowed in my space. And they can think whatever they want about me. They can hate me, right? It is what it is.
Yeah. No, that
Not
makes
every-
sense.
Not everybody's going to like you, Coco, right?
Oh yeah, I've learned that on TikTok by far.
Okay, so
Yeah, I've come to terms with that.
So if you know that not everybody's going to like you, and how does it feel setting these boundaries?
Good. I'm respected now.
Oh, that's interesting. Who do you think is respecting you now? I have an interpretation, but I'm curious what you think.
But like, like I'm not trying to be like a king. That's not what I'm trying to be.
No, I understand, but who
some
do you
people
think
that
is
like-
respecting? Who do you think is respecting you more?
I mean, I don't want to say any names, but you notice how people's character shifts. They're like, oh, he's actually going to kick people from the panel if they're being unprofessional.
I don't think that's respect. I think that they are recognizing that, okay, well, that's not going to work, and then they're going to figure out a different way to get around that. I think the person gaining more respect for you, Coco, is you.
Yeah, because I've worked really hard, and I want people to respect the work I do.
Yes, when you respect yourself more, then that is going to be expressed willfully and personally as a representation of you, your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, and the people around you, right? You give people so many chances.
A lot of chances.
An unbelievable amount of chances, right?
Yeah.
And you let these people come back to spit on you again without establishing a boundary so that it doesn't happen again. Like Tosh is in the comments, right? Let's say that Tosh says something, right? And I don't have a lot of boundaries, but the ones that I do, I'm firm on, okay? And I tell Tosh, hey, that is a boundary. Don't do it again, right?
Yeah.
And then he does it again 3 days later. What does this tell me or you about Tosh? Not that Tosh did this. I love Tosh. Tosh is my favorite person on this app.
It just demonstrates that they're just gonna like wait for a period of time and then try to do it again and try to like sneak past your boundary and do whatever they want.
Be aware of that because people are doing that to you regularly.
Yeah. And so yeah, like at first I agree with you. I was kind of letting people do whatever they want. And then over time, like I became
You've gotten better. Yeah, but it's still happening.
Yeah, like over time I became ugly. And then like I realized, okay, I need to start setting boundaries, and then
Also analyze this, right? You're giving people you can view it different ways. You're either giving people a voice, or if you want to be more specific, you're giving people an opportunity to have their voice be heard. Okay? And if people do not value that, analyze that, take that seriously, and this is why if I was managing your show, I would only let people debate formally. Like if you just want to do the informals off camera, that's fine. But every single formal debate that you have, both parties should have their cameras on. Every time. So that we can see the person. So that we can see their avatar.
yeah, like see who they actually are. Well, I mean, like a lot of
because that's personal to them. That's the one thing. Like they're not hiding their voice, but many people are hiding their face consistently. They won't turn their camera on during a formal.
Yeah, no. I hear what you're saying. You would make it a requirement.
I would, yeah. Because people act differently when you can see them.
Sorry, give me 1 sec.
1, 2, 3.
Or like give me like a minute.
There you go.
Okay, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
But okay, no, I get what you're saying, but But yeah, no, like, I have been saying that you're right about a lot of things. And then, yeah, like, I resonate with that. I think I agree with a lot of stuff you're saying, like setting boundaries, becoming the monster that hurt you, and different stuff like that. And then, yeah, like, I have been meaning to, like, reflect on, like, what do I want this thing to be? But, like, oftentimes I'm kind of just, like, I'm coming up with ideas and then just doing what I want and, like, makeshifting and Frankensteining this thing on the go all the time. But yeah, like sitting down and planning out the next 5 years of what I want this project to be, I'm down to kind of do that.
You would agree that it's kind of just obvious that every single person who comes up on your panel, you want them to be expressing their personal truth, right?
Yeah.
Then truth is necessarily personal.
Yeah.
That means it's mind dependent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can agree to that. Like
Then we ask them, whose mind is this referring to? And if so, you know how the Christians will cherry pick the Bible?
Yeah.
Atheists do the same thing, but for different systems, different theories, different philosophers. They just cherry pick.
Or I think like what people consider to be the truth and like their journey for truth is like personal to find the capital T. But like people are going to come up and say, I believe this to be the truth. And that's their personal like truth and belief. And
right, but that's all they have. All they have at the end of the day is their beliefs, and then a justification for their beliefs if they're a reasonable, rational person capable of that.
Yeah, in an attempt to find capital T truth.
Right. But if capital T truth is the necessary presupposition of unity and connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And individuals on this space are denying capital T truth.
Yeah. Well, how so? What do you mean?
Because if they were to accept that truth, capital T, then every single person who comes up here is going to be able to express what they think ontologically unifies all of us. Every individual would be able to say that they believe in God, but that they think that God is not self-aware or God is non-intentional, right? And they would say, well, then that's not God anymore. But that's just specific to their language system. If God is just, because when we're analyzing God, Coco, we're analyzing the answer to everything, right? The explanation for all, right? How all of this is possible, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when we ask them that, if they don't have an answer, then they can't tell anybody else that they're wrong. They can say, that doesn't make sense to me, or I'm confused, sincerely, and they can ask questions. But in order to say that you're wrong, wrong is going to be referencing, this is how I understand it, this is what makes more sense to me.
Yeah. Wait here, my phone's about to, can I end the live, but then restart it and then come back and I'll have only you be on the panel?
Maybe.
Okay, if you have time.
We'll see.
Cool. It'll take me like 5 seconds. Okay. I'll be back.
One eternity later.
But yeah, welcome back. Okay. But no, yeah. So I get what you're saying. So yeah, like and I think what you said about like having wait here, hold on. I think what you said about like having a worldview is a good thing, and I've been sort of working on building a worldview. So I got like pieces, right? So like I'm a moral subjectivist. I'm agnostic on the God claim. I appeal to phenomenal conservatism. And so, like, you're saying that, like, everybody's going to need a grounding that's going to ground everybody, right?
They would have to believe in absolute identity or absolute connection.
Yeah. So couldn't someone just, like, have objective reality be, like an axiom that they appeal to?
Sure, but then I would just ask them what reality is, and that's just going to conclude in them agreeing with an eternal, immaterial, constant, unchanging, absolute identity. They would probably deny that it's self-aware. They would probably deny that it's intentional. But okay, a Mormon's going to deny that God is immaterial. Mormons believe God is material. Okay, Muslims believe in God, but believe that God is not three persons. The Unitarians believe God is one person. The Trinitarians believe God is three persons. The ADS believe that God is good. People who are non-ADS say, no, God is not reduced down to goodness. Right? Like, no matter what, we are talking about what we think reality is at a grand absolute level, and then analyzing what we think the properties are.
Wait, so okay, so you're saying like, so somebody could assume that like reality exists, objective reality exists, but then there's going to be like some kind of identity that's like,
Reality is the identity right here.
yeah, reality's the identity that exists, but they don't have to appeal to a god. They just have this identity that
They're just not
exists
calling it God. Yeah.
that's immaterial, that's grounding everything. Okay, and then I see what you're saying.
And they're just changing the property set. They're changing what a rose is a rose, no matter what we call it, right? A rose by any other name is just as sweet, right?
Say it again.
A rose by any other name is just as sweet.
A rose by any other name is just as sweet. Yeah, it's the same thing, just different
It's
names.
the same thing. So if I say God and you say universe, and what we're talking about in the grand scheme is the explanation for everything, or what is sustaining life, or the greatest possible explanation for all of this, you say reality, I say God, you now have the burden, if I have one, to explain what reality is and how that makes more sense. Or neither of us have a burden and we just keep living our lives.
It's just an axiom. What God is, what that identity thing is just an axiom.
Right, but the individuals are denying. Brother, I know this is going to be tough to hear, but this is what Darth Dawkins is saying, man. This is why, like, I can't stand how he treats people, right? His emotional intelligence is in the negative. I hope he gets the help that he needs. I pray for him. But he is not wrong about what he is saying about the necessary foundation.
There's something that's grounding everything.
Yes, and what Tag is saying is, give me a better worldview. If you go and you go listen to Jay Dyer, he's also not the nicest person, but he's saying this is the only explanation that makes sense. Prove me wrong, and to prove him wrong, you have to present a better worldview.
Yeah,
and when the atheist doesn't do that, it proves his point.
Yeah, but also like whenever they say like every other one is wrong, I guess like they have a burden, but the atheist.
No, that's the challenge. Okay. Have you ever seen Prison Break?
I think so.
Great show. Oh, well, you would know if you've seen Prison Break. At one point, they're in a prison, and if you have any beef with anybody, you throw down a chicken foot in front of them, okay?
Yeah.
And that means that we're going to fight to the death, okay?
Yeah.
Jay Dyer and the people who are running Tag are throwing, excuse me, they're throwing a chicken foot in front of you, and then you're refusing to fight. Imagine, okay, me and you are in prison, okay?
Yeah.
And I throw a chicken foot at your feet, okay? And you say, look at this stupid guy. He can't even prove he can fight. And I'm looking you dead in your eyes, and I'm saying no one can beat my ass.
Yeah.
And you look around at the crowd. Can you visualize this? Because I think this is a perfect example. Okay, me and you, we're in prison. I throw down a chicken foot, and I say no one can beat my ass, including you. Okay? And you look around at everybody else looking at you, and you go, look at this guy. He can't fight. He can't prove that he can beat everybody up in here.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. So whenever they're saying like, you know, my grounding is God, nobody else can ground their worldview. Yeah, they're challenging you, and like it's kind of cowardly to like point back and be like, justify like your worldview, but at the same time they're making a claim and they're not justifying their claim.
No, they are willing to justify their claim, but you have to be willing to fight back
With an equal weight view.
Yes, you can't. You're not showing them you can fight. You're showing them that you're too disabled to fight back. And if they punch you, then they're just beating up someone who can't fight.
Wait, yeah, good play. Wait, I mean, yeah, checkmate.
Yes, that's Tag.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, no, yeah, I realize this, but also like I'm re-realizing this now. But also,
doesn't it
like,
suck?
Yeah, but it's like yes, you need to like present something to fight back, but it's also like they can't justify their worldview. They're asking everybody else to like, justify.
Okay. I'm the only one in the prison saying I'm willing to fight, and fighting here is going to be like more insane than it needs to be. But it just I'm willing to play any. I can beat everybody in here in a game of chess. Okay, and it's an invitation. It's an offering, right? It's saying, someone come tell me something better.
Better, yeah. Okay, and then, I mean, like, I don't
And the atheists can't do that because atheism is epistemically empty.
Depends. You don't think, like even the best atheists that we can find, like someone rivaling William Lane Craig, couldn't, like, present a
I
worldview
would.
against
I
it.
think that if I were to talk to Alex O'Connor within 1 hour, I would get him to concede that he believes in God.
Or Matt Dillahunty, or like if we go down the
No,
list
Matt Dillahunty is too dishonest and too angry. I don't think that he would get past 30 minutes with me.
Oh, okay. Like I admire these people. I'm not gonna like badmouth them on my live.
I'm not bad mouthing him. It's like the amount of people who I've talked to who have said that they used to watch the Atheist Experience, and then after watching it for a couple of months and listening to it, they realized that they became angrier people is alarming.
Okay. Okay, no, that makes sense. So yeah, like, whenever when people are running tag, they're throwing a chicken bone down and saying like, I have a worldview. I'll try to justify my worldview, but can you present a worldview and justify your worldview?
Justify according to what? So let's just pretend. Okay, let's say that I'm running tag on you right now, Coco, and you say prove it, and I say according to what standard?
Is that where you appeal to some kind of universal like?
No, I'm asking you, Coco. So let's pretend that there's nobody else in attendance right now. Okay, you're telling me to prove it to you. Okay, how do I do that?
You'd have to establish a standard.
What standard?
A standard for like logical inference rules, laws of logic, or something.
According to whose system?
Both of us in the conversation.
My system is already satisfied. I have proof of this. So whose system is incomplete and needs proof?
I guess me that's asking, but like
You.
So like whenever I'm asking for you to like prove it, right? We both have to agree on a rubric that we're both going to walk through.
And the atheist will never agree on the rubric.
They never agree on the rubric. It would just be.
They will never agree on the rubric.
Okay, so give me an example of like what a rubric would be.
Establishing what will satisfy whatever is going. Like if I give you a system that is analytically consistent, is that good enough for you?
Analytically.
Yeah, I can prove God by definition.
Okay, okay, now I get it. Yeah, then the atheist or me we're probably going to require like empirical.
You're going to say no.
Yeah,
right?
We're going to require
so
more things.
now you don't care. So what satisfies my standard of proof is distinct from what satisfies your standard of proof, but it's what satisfies your standard of proof is unknowable even to you. And you are determined, not you, but like people in general, they're determined to not believe. If you don't want to believe, you will always be able to contextualize why you don't believe it.
Wait, but don't you think like the Christian threshold is very low? If it's just like definitional, then forget empirics or forget any other thing?
No, I think that my standard is specific for me. Tosh's standard is specific for him. Missy's standard is specific for her. And if you're saying that you refuse to analyze the context and specificities of what proof is to you, I don't think that there's proof that you can be reasoned with.
So like every atheist or person that says that they're open-minded about God existing, they have to come up with like what would it take for them to believe in God. But if there's nothing, they're going to be forever skeptics.
Yeah, because there is the proposition concludes nothing is proof of God. Proof of God does not exist to them.
Well, actually, like proof is even like I don't even use the word proof. Like I would say like we're playing.
It would just have to like happen to them. It would just have to fall into their lap.
Or like, it would have to, I guess. So like no, you're right on the proof thing. Like I'm conceding there. But I think that the conversations we have online, it's not so much about proof. Anyone who's asking for proof is kind of dumb. I don't think we could ever prove it. It's more a probability game. But so the atheist still needs to ask the question, like, what would present a high probability that would convince me to jump into this worldview and accept it?
Yeah, if you recognize that, here, we'll just do this. If you recognize that the greatest or only way that humans ought to be communicating rationally is with words that they self-reflect and truly believe are good, then that would be step 1 through step 5 of believing what I believe. By the way, I made those steps up. I have no idea if it's 1 through 5. I'm just saying, like, baseline, first 5 steps you believe in. If you deny that, then I question how you speak and how you communicate.
Wait, say it again.
When individuals are talking, they ought to only be expressing what is personal and honest to them, with self-recognition and reflection that what they are saying is something they believe is good, truly good, both short-term and preferably long-term.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees with that.
They don't agree to that. They don't care. Not only do they not agree with that, they don't even understand what I'm saying when I say that most of the time. I ask people, what's your good word? And they say, what are you talking about?
When you say what's your good word, it's like, what do you believe? What's your epistemology?
Yes, I'm asking them, when you say a word, are you attempting to say good things, truly good things? Or are you just saying random things that you're not actually analyzing the goodness or badness of it? Are you consistently saying words you believe are bad?
Or words you believe in?
Yeah, individuals are expressing words they don't even believe in. If an individual says, I don't believe in that word, it's inappropriate for them to say it. Atheists should not say the word God. They're stealing the word.
But they're saying they don't believe in said word.
So why are they saying it?
They're disproving it. They're showing that this word is like based on how people use it in various definitions, it's just...
They're saying something specific to them does not exist.
Or no, they're saying like this word that I've seen the definition in regards to how other people use it doesn't exist.
They don't believe that word exists. So the only time they would use that word is to tell people that's the wrong word. So if they're saying that's the wrong word, then what question do I follow up and ask them with?
What's your word?
What's the right word?
What's the right word?
And you know what the atheist is going to say? I don't have to provide that. And if they say they don't have to provide that, then on what authority are they telling me it's the wrong word?
Yeah, you don't have a better one. You're just saying it's the wrong word.
You don't have a better word.
Okay. Wow, this is a light bulb kind of thing.
This is what I've been trying to tell you and everybody else for the last 6 months.
Okay, yeah, that's based. I think that's rational. That's rational.
Coco, what you're hearing right now for the first time potentially is what I've been repeating on a cycle for over 6 months.
Yeah. Okay, and then it just doesn't make sense. Like typically, it makes sense now, but like when we're hearing it, we're like, what is this guy even saying?
Yeah, because you guys don't value my word. Probably because for a good chunk of time I wasn't valuing my own word, and I was just better than most of you at terrorizing you guys. I was good at debating. I can still debate you guys. I don't want to. I don't want to insult you. I don't want to make you look silly. I want to just compare languages with you guys.
Okay.
I don't want to fight anymore, man. Like I want to be a gardener knowing that I can go to war anytime.
Oh, yeah, me too. That's also my goal too. I want to be like a gardener, but also be able to like assassinate anybody debating.
Right, but when you're doing that, you have to value your word. Your word should be something you truly believe is good, and if I press you on the goodness of your word, you should be able to defend that.
Exactly, yeah. That's why everyone who debates should have a worldview. They should have the weapon that they use to put forth in debate.
Congratulations. And what has your space been enabling?
Agnosticism.
No worldviews.
Yeah, just criticisms.
Do you know who has worldviews?
The theist. I mean, and it depends on the atheist.
The people who believe in God, man.
It depends. I mean, maybe there's an atheist with a worldview.
If an atheist has a worldview, then they're going to be a monist, a pantheist, or a panentheist. Do you understand? It's denying atheism. Okay, if I'm saying that I want to know the answer to everything, and the answer to everything is God, and someone says God doesn't exist, then what is the person saying to me? There is ultimately no answer for everything.
And whenever you say that an atheist is a pantheist, is because they're saying that the universe is the grounding for everything.
Welcome to reality, Coco.
Okay, okay.
And every person who believes in God believes God is a little different. And the best way for us to talk about what is true is through empathetic, patient consideration with each other. If people treat people like garbage, then they're just terrorizing or fighting them. But instead, if like Tosh is a pantheist, right? And so if Tosh were to come up here, then we're going to spend like 95% of the conversation agreeing until we find a word we disagree on. And then we're just going to discuss why we think the context is different for that identity. And then we ask each other if we want to go get some food. And then we get some food, we hang out. And then if there's anybody committing an act of badness that is intentionally terrorizing other people, then we can put a stop to that.
Yeah. No,
but we have to be able to talk.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Think of it like this, man. Last night I had this phrase in my head. Let me know if you like it. There is an absolute unchanging identity. If you deny an absolute unchanging identity, then you have to deny the universe. You have to deny reality. You have to deny existence.
You have to deny your axiom.
Yep. So you can ask all atheists, do you believe in an absolute unchanging identity? If they say no, they have no connection.
Okay, then yeah, that makes sense. What's the thing that's going to serve as the base for like everyone's worldviews?
No, their worldview. It's specific to them, their beliefs. Nobody has to believe me about my word, right? The individuals who value my word can hear me and listen to understand, and I try to do the same for them. Then when we're communicating, we fulfill the telos of communication, which is to perform or achieve a sincere understanding with each other.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Tim, if you don't, by the way, if you don't want me to call you that, just let me know. I'll say Hierophant. Hierophant, if you want to replace empathy with sympathy, go for it, man. Right, and that's the whole point. Hierophant didn't like the word empathy there because he thinks contextually that likely sympathy is going to be a more achievable word, and I'm just going to say, yeah, that's fine. Because the word is less important to me in terms of like, you have to say my word. It has to be this. What I'm interested is the meaning of the word, the context of what we believe.
Interesting.
Like imagine, this is what I hear is happening, Coco.
Yeah.
Some people, imagine you say orange and I say naranja, right? And
Which
you
is
say
Spanish for orange.
You say no, that's the wrong word.
No, it's just your worldview. We're both describing the same thing.
No, Coco, don't say orange. You have to say naranja.
Well, it's like you have to tell me why yours is better.
Right, and we would have to discuss the meaning. And if it comes to the conclusion that there's no meaningful distinction, and we're just saying different words, we are actually slow in the head.
Yeah.
Because we're arguing about meaning the same thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're all trying to get to the same thing, but we're trying to decide like who has the better language or worldview.
Do you know what this presupposes?
That there's like like what we said in the beginning, that there's like an axiom, there's something out there, there's some kind
that connects all of us. It's connection.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, some of us.
Yeah. No, but this has been a light bulb conversation. But that's mind-boggling.
And that's why when you ask me, remember before when you yelled at me and you said, "Well, how is this going to help somebody?" It helps somebody because hopefully either I or God has used me as a tool to allow you to realize it's our word.
Wait.
And you understand our word, our connection, by analyzing your word.
Oh, okay, wait. So full circle, when you say God is the word, when I ask you like what has God done for us? Like
He's connected us.
He's unifying he's unifying everybody and connecting all of us, and then like giving us an example or rules or stuff through words. Oh, and that's how you're understanding it.
Yep.
Okay. And then do you connect that to like how the Christians like describe God as like immaterial outside of space and time, and you just say, yeah, he's the word, immaterial outside of space and time?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, it's like I was viewing like a corner of the picture, but this conversation kind of helped me like zoom out.
Right.
And
I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm telling you we can talk about it, and if you truly self-reflect with honesty and you introspect on what you truly believe, I will listen to you, and I think that we arrive at the same conclusion with different words.
We're all describing the same thing with different words.
Yes. Through a different perception. And when I'm reading the Quran, or I'm reading the Bible, or I'm reading whatever, I don't care about whether there was a rock or not. I don't care. What I'm analyzing is what would happen if all of these perceptions were honestly true, and what is the context of different perceptions. And when we strip away that everything is going to be through the lens of a perception, then we miss analyzing whether or not the foundation of that is expressing honesty.
Okay. Wait. Do you ever say you never say someone's worldview is wrong?
No.
You just say that they're doing a bad job labeling everything.
I don't even know if I would say bad. I would just say, like, my goal, if I do say that, then it's just like a moment of like weakness or me falling short of the glory of God, which, remember, is ultimate, absolute, unchanging connection, right? If I'm failing to connect with somebody, that's evidence I'm falling short to connect, right?
Yeah.
An individual who doesn't desire connecting with me, it is inappropriate for me to attempt to connect with them, right? An individual who is attempting to just talk to me to try to tear me down, right? They're attempting to like increase our disconnection. I don't want that either.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Instead, I'm just going to be analyzing and seeing, can we understand each other?
Yeah. And like when you talk to people, are you trying to, not that you're trying to, but it would be cool if like you convince them to adopt your worldview? Is that part of your intentions?
No, I think so. My goal is to manipulate as little as possible. I understand that like even teaching is a form of manipulation. When I'm communicating nowadays, my goal is to be reflecting on what I believe, ensuring that it's honest, ensuring that it's empathetic or sympathetic, Hierophant, analyzing the possibilities that maybe a different word is actually better contextually, or maybe somebody could tell me better context for something that I'm trying to express. And when I find individuals who value my word and mean me well, then I can trust their word more often.
Yeah. And yeah, okay, so you're not worried about people taking your worldview. You're worried about just bettering yours.
Well, I would like to better mine. I think that ultimately the only thing that I can, be responsible for is my word, right?
Yeah.
And when I'm talking to other people, I hope that I'm saying good things that hopefully are loving to them, because I think that love is willing the good of another. And so if you mean I'm trying to convince you to be better or good or to participate with goodness, yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
And I'm doing that, but I have to hold myself to that same standard. So if you see me not acting in a loving manner or screaming at someone or belittling somebody else, you have the ability or permission, opportunity to message me and say, hey man, are you okay? Like maybe I'm sick. Maybe something bad happened to me that day. I think we're all sick, but like maybe I'm having a really bad day. And then through you self-reflecting with me and giving me your honest perception, and I value your word and you're sincere with me and you're not just trying to tear me down or build yourself up, then I go, yeah, man, you're right. I could have been nicer. And then I could reach out to them and try to mend the bridge and apologize to them. And that's evidence of repentance.
Okay. No, this is interesting. No, I don't disagree with a single thing you've said this entire life.
That's
eye-opening.
Theism, brother. And but remember that people have the ability to twist your word, take your word out of content or out of context, and use other people's words against them. If you want, Coco, people want to come up, man. If you want, Brody has questions. I think Tosh wanted to.
Okay, let me take Brody, let me take Missy, and let me take Bobby and Tosh. And then everybody else, I'll bring you up. And then,
What's up, guys?
What's up, Brody?
Yo.
Okay, I'll take Hierophant.
All right. So
wait, hold on. Do you guys think this is interesting? This is fire.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I wish Cage was here, at least, so for me to get like.
You mean the guy who said that he was going to defeat this argument a month and a half ago and never did? That guy?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Maybe Cage was busy with kids. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Actually, wait, Shark.
Oh.
When you were good at debating, you're just good at like picking a different worldview to describe the same grounding. You're just taking different language systems and being good at it.
Yep. I'm just speaking a different language.
But
yeah, because Coco, words may change, but the reference remain the same.
Yeah.
So I want to just go through some contentions I had throughout this conversation. Maybe not much of a contention, but you guys could just help me understand something. Like when I talk to Shark, I try to understand like semantic realism, the way he goes about it. I think I get the overall goal of the dialectic, right? So I understand, but like I'm not so. Shark, do you think what's your views on like anti-foundationalism?
Oh, that is fun.
Like the rejection of like what's the
A
word?
unifying principle.
Yeah,
Essentially,
I sincerely just respectfully, man. I just don't take your epistemology seriously.
Because you're speaking and you have nothing to ground everything that you're speaking. You don't.
Yeah, you're denying absolute connection. And if you're denying absolute connection, you're undermining the fact that me and you are absolutely connected right now. You're denying the absolute connection between me and you right now. It's gibberish.
Right. So when I'm having this dialectic, right, I'm assuming that me, Coco, we're trying to find some understand truth, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna borrow some quotes from J. Mike. What they usually like to say, you have all these cards on the table, with all these worldviews. You're trying to like try to see which one best explains the data as much as possible, right?
Yeah, like we're all trying to get to the same place, but if you deny that there's not even that place, then like what's the point of having the conversation? We're talking to get nowhere.
Or deny? No, I think it depends on what truth is. I guess I get just defining truth
Absolute
as
unchanging connection. Absolute unchanging connection.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure why I should hold to that definition.
Yeah. So hold on. So truth is so basically like all of us are looking at the data, right? And there's something objective. There's something that's connecting all of us. There's something outside of us that's connecting all of us. But
what does that mean?
We're all describing it in a different way, right? So we're all looking at reality. Reality is that thing, right? That's objective to all of us. And some people are going to say, given this data that we're looking at, given this thing that's outside of us, it's God, it's Christianity. But then atheists are going to say, no, it's not God. That's a terrible way to describe it. I'm going to use a different language, atheism, and say maybe an infinite regress, or maybe like, the universe is eternal. And then somebody else is going to be like, both of you guys are idiots. It's Islam, and they're going to call it Allah. And like, we're all trying to get to the same spot, but we're all doing it in different ways.
So what does truth mean at that point? What are we saying when we say truth?
It's whatever is personal to the individual expressing the identity claim.
There's an objective data that's here. We're looking at the data and we're putting a different label on it.
Bobby, if you deny connection, right? That's what I'm saying. Right now, it's either you believe in connection or disconnection. If you believe in disconnection, I think it's inappropriate for you to talk.
I'm not even.
Bobby, I might be
No.
able to explain it, right? So truth is in like the words that you're used to hearing is resonant alignment, right? And so truth becomes the resonance between contingency and necessity. It is sustained, it is ongoing, it is unchanging, right? So proposition, act, or being is true when its instantiation coheres with the structural reality sustained by the necessary. And then you get levels of truth from there, right? So quite often we confuse domains in which truth exists. You have ontological truth, you have modal truth, and then you have epistemic truth.
I got you.
And quite often our concepts of truth are derivative. They're stuck in the epistemic domain. Nobody thinks outside of that box.
Yeah, but I don't know. Even though I could say like this is what I agree, like I think a portion of that sentence was like what coheres to like reality. You give these other criteria of truth, like it needs to be unchanging. What does truth need to be
See what I'm saying?
unchanging?
Like right now, and this is where I'm at, right? And I may be out of line. I want you guys to tell me if I'm out of line. I think that what Bobby needs to do immediately is to find someone to learn from, to learn how to talk. Because right now he's not even accepting something as simple as connection. We are really connected.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree.
I'm not too sure.
Hold on,
Like,
Bobby.
Intelligibility,
Wait.
listen, Bobby, intelligibility demands.
But that's what I'm saying, Bobby. That's what I'm saying, right?
Coherence.
You're not denying God, Bobby. You're denying that the literal things you're speaking to right now, you're connected with.
Can I weigh in really quick?
Yeah, go.
Hey, can I make an?
Hold on, someone else is talking. You can
wait. I want to let you guys up because
Actually,
you guys.
you wanted them up?
Oh no. Well, they want the request, but this is how I'm going about
Tosh had
it.
a question.
Right?
No, Tosh wanted to say something.
Let's keep it to us for now. We'll bring up people later.
All right.
Bobby, do you remember the conversation we had about why I'm a pantheist?
Was some psychological reason?
No, not just because it's a psychological.
Oh, because your definition of God too.
Yeah, and specifically as to why that definition came to me.
Actually, no, I don't know why did that definition come to you? Because I guess it made sense. It met the criteria, I guess.
It met a criteria, but it's specifically about truth. So like, okay, in terms of objective versus subjective, right? Even just within science, what do they mean?
Honestly, I'm not too sure how science is used subject. I don't think science, at least maybe natural science.
So no, like even in the scientific method, right? When conducting an experiment, right? There's an objective, right? There's an objective claim that is happening within this, and we're trying to seek objectivity through subjective viewpoints within the experiment. And we come to an objective statement within science through the subjective.
I'm not too sure that's what like when we test hypothesis, that's what we're doing.
That's
we're
exactly
testing
what we're
subjective
doing.
truths.
Bobby, I mean, I learned this throughout like biology. I learned this throughout physics. I learned this throughout different types of sciences. This is how we conduct experiments: is we use subjectivity to find an objective.
What is subjective? Sorry, what do you mean by subjectivity there?
Wait, Tosh, wait, you're totally right. So wait, Bobby. So like, there's this. Okay, like hopefully I don't mess this up, but there's like this capital T, right? We're all sitting at a table looking at the data. There's some objective truth, and we're using our subjective truths to get to that objective truth. Like the Christians are looking at the data saying it's the Christian God. That's their subjective truth. And then atheism is another subjective truth. Oh.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wait, is this like the blind man feeling around the elephant thing?
Yeah, but I'm not. When we're talking about the physicists, like looking at quantum mechanics or something like that, are you saying that they have like this presupposed worldview which they're testing some of?
Yeah, exactly. So like whatever data that they're coming or that they're bringing up, right? They're trying to make an objective claim based off of that data, based off of all the different subjective data points that they have. What?
All right, so hey,
What is happening?
all right, so
That's what I'm saying,
Manny.
Damien.
Wait.
Maybe this might be. What
Bad, I
do
was
you?
going to McDonald's, bro.
What do you?
Let's not
What do
get
you?
let's not get too rowdy. Let's try to keep it.
No, like Manny's cool. Manny's cool.
It's just funny.
Sorry, Coco. So remember we talked about before, right? You set a boundary, and you consistently affiliate with people who don't listen to you. Your words were, "Let's keep it just us right now." You remember that?
I didn't bring up Manny.
Whoever did.
Someone did. Someone else did. But
Hey, I'm not saying it's you. I'm saying me and Coco just talked about that.
right. But anyways, I think Manny, when we have these conversations, I'm assuming that the reason we have these conversations is because we're trying to understand.
No, Manny
what
was just
likely to
ordering
be.
McDonald's.
Oh, sorry, Shark. Say what you said again. I'm in and out through work.
Yeah, like when we're having these conversations, Manny.
Only keep us up here, and then somebody else brought them up.
Wait, yeah. I guess I kind of only wanted us up here, but then someone brought up ISO, which I'm
Just
okay
remember,
with ISO.
when you say words, do you want your words to be implemented in reality, or do you just talk to make noise?
Damn, just make sure a mod and let the nigga kick me, bro. Fuck.
Wait, Coco.
I don't think.
Oh my!
It's not about it's not about kicking you. It's respecting Coco's words. He set the standard, not me.
Force, you just got mod powers back, and this is what happens.
I only wanted us up here.
Coco, what is a boundary? Remember when I showed you? What is a boundary?
Love you, Forrest.
It's a line you don't want people to cross, I guess.
It's a personal rule.
That part.
A boundary is a personal rule. I will not allow you to treat me this way because I have set that boundary for myself. So it is my responsibility to remove myself from anyone or any situation and reinforce my boundaries. If you don't reinforce your boundaries, people will walk all over you because your boundaries mean nothing. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with ISO being up, right?
Yeah,
I don't think anything wrong.
That it was happening again, right? Coco, this is happening consistently.
Yeah. So I said I only wanted us. Someone brought ISO up, and I like ISO, so I kind of just mentioned.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with Manny. Is not gonna be he's not gonna start the purge. At least I'm not.
Because they're missing the point. It's not that. It's not that Manny came up and that we have a problem. They have a problem with him. It's that Coco had set a boundary that he was only going to let up these individuals, and then something else happened. And so the thing right now is simply a boundaries thing. We're not talking about anything else, right? We're not saying anything about or to
right.
ISO.
It's okay. Then can I ask Coco? Because Manny could probably help because Manny's slightly more philosophical. Have more philosophical understanding than me.
We don't need.
So,
I was gonna say, I really don't think.
No, like Bobby, you're missing the whole point. You're talking about we need Cage here, we need ISO here, brother. You need to learn how to think.
I got a question for sure.
Wait, it's okay. Cool, but
can we finish?
I guess the thing is that I just wanted us to be up here, and then I understand that they can help. But yeah, I did say at first it should probably just only be us for now because an 8 panel is gonna get super rowdy. People are gonna start talking over each other, and the conversation that I really enjoy that we're having is just gonna become gish gobble blah 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 yelling all over each other.
All right, okay, then I'm not gonna appeal to some other outside source anymore. But and I probably agree with you, Tosh, that maybe some physicists when they look at quantum mechanics, maybe presupposing physicalism to be true to make this world to make their test true. I'm not fully sure. I'm not confident in fully making that statement that every physicist presuppose physicalism in order to test hypothesis. But
that's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're presupposing physicalism. Even within a metaphysical standpoint, right? We can still use certain data points to try to prove an objective, right? Whether or not we are actually able to prove the objective, that's how it works. In terms of the data points, though, there's an objectivity within those data points, and that's what science is really going for, right? So when conducting an experiment, There's all the data points, and then there's an objective statement and or objectivity of those set points. And the same thing can be said within reality. And that's why I'm a pantheist, because I think all things within reality is God. And like all the things, so like not just any one thing, but the totality of all those things together is what makes God.
So,
Wait, hold on.
Hate that. Sorry, Coco.
Wait, Tosh, you're just saying objective truth is God. Like all of us, our sensory
That's just
data,
a
everything
brute
is
fact.
God. Wait, that's light bulb. Wait, what? Yo.
Yep.
No, don't. Because listen, like
Yeah.
just
you suffer modal collapse within a
Okay, that
pantheistic model.
might be an issue for
No,
you,
you don't.
right? Like even like okay, listen, it's happening again, right? Now, you might believe that there's a modal collapse because of specific context, but then you would also have to agree that there may be a context that we're all unfamiliar with, which actually fixed the issue that you think exists, and so that results in Tosh's position being fine, right?
Yep.
If we just focus on consistently trying to contextualize the wrongness based around our fallible interpretation, we're stuck in just a cycle of saying you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Okay, sure. Can I
And
stop
that's
you
why
right
it's a
there?
belief.
I don't understand what is being said anymore. If everyone is just kind of right.
Everyone is kind of right if they're being honest.
Exactly, and that's why there's a lowercase t and a capital
No,
T
like-
within truth.
Well, okay,
say
can God exist and not exist? Who's true there? Like,
No.
how are we both right then?
Wait, no, we don't even know what you mean by God. No, see, this is the problem. When you're saying God here, what does this mean? You don't believe in God, so you're not the one defining it. So it's going to be dependent on my definition, Tosh's definition, Brody's definitions. Do you want me to call you Hierophant or?
You can call me Tim. I don't care, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tim's definition, Missy's definition. What do you? Who are you talking?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna borrow your words, right? I'm not gonna say something that unifies all tens, but I'll just call that.
Oh yeah, okay, connection. Okay,
But I don't know if I call that God. I call that let's say some quantum fluctuation that's mindless or whatever.
No, yeah, hey
Wait,
Coco,
so-
do you remember Naranja?
Yeah. So Bobby, that's the thing. You're calling it something different, but everyone here sitting at this table is trying to get to that same thing. We're just calling it different things.
So
Exactly.
what are we saying anymore?
They're saying that you're epistemically responsible for actually being able to articulate what you believe that identity state is, rather than just telling other people that they're wrong.
Yo,
And Brody,
whoa,
Brody,
wait, yo.
Brody has his hand up, by the way.
Go ahead, Brody.
Okay, Brody, go.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry, I'm just not in the mood for like interrupting right now. So,
How are
Shark,
you?
I hear you saying things that I feel like are incompatible, and I wanted to know your thoughts on them. So earlier you were saying how you don't say anyone's worldview is wrong.
Try not
When
to.
you do that, you're failing to connect, and failing
I
to
think that it
connect
makes
is
them more
falling short of the
defensive.
glory of God.
I just think it makes them more defensive.
Well, that might be true, but it seemed the reason you were giving earlier was that doing so would be falling short of the glory of God because you're failing to connect.
Yeah, like, so let's say that I believe that somebody is doing something really, really wrong, right? What I would want to tell them is, rather than saying you're wrong, I would want to say true things that I believe are honestly good and true, such as, like, let's say that someone is an H addict, right? I would want to protect them from that. Maybe they need education about it. Maybe they need shelter. They need help, right? And so rather than saying you're wrong, when I see somebody is truly sick in a broken world, and I realize that we're all sick, but some sick people can help other sick people, my question is, how can we help? How can I help?
Okay, yeah, I understand that, and I think that's right. Like, I would probably agree with that approach, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, so I also have, just because I've been taking notes on what you've been saying, you also said earlier that you think that teaching is a form of manipulation. Do you still hold that to be true?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's just going to depend on how we're
Okay.
defining manipulation. Yeah.
Well, okay, so you say stuff like that, but then you say to Bobby needs to learn. Bobby needs to learn how to think. Bobby needs to learn from somebody.
Yeah.
But then you also say that, you know, when we think someone's wrong, there's just probably a context that we don't know about that justifies it. So when Bobby's here saying Cage needs to join the call or so-and-so needs to join the call, I would just say that back to you. Maybe there's a context you don't know about where Cage does need to join the call. And it's not right to say that he needs to learn, because maybe there's a context where he doesn't need to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. If Cage is Bobby's teacher, right, and Bobby is learning how to speak from listening to people like Cage, then okay, that's fine. But at that point, then we do need Cage, and any like idea Bobby has as an affirmative proposition has to be ran through by Cage first.
Yeah, but when you say teacher or teaching, this implies learning, which implies like moving from some wrong or erroneous way of thinking to some proper way of thinking, which implies
more
that somebody
context.
can be wrong, right?
An epistemic system that allows for better context, or by better, more context, more clear context.
Yeah, so someone's moving from something erroneous or something incorrect to something that's more in line with reality. That's
Yeah,
what
like let's say maybe you would like this. Somebody could be wrong if wrong there means lacking context.
Sure, let's just say that wrong means lacking context. Then I'm completely fine with saying people are wrong, right? Because they're lacking something. They need to be.
Yeah, I would be okay. I would say that too. Yeah, when I said that they're not wrong, I said that because I want to get away from this like absolute claim of just like these binary truths and get more into the context. So if it's just, hey, me and you both lack context about something, let's try to steelman each other, that's fine. Then we can both be wrong together.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think that definitely clears it up, and I think that answers my question.
Then, Chark, would you say that when Tim was trying to correct Tosh?
Thank you, bro. By the way, Brody, thank you.
When Tim was trying to correct Tosh, say this is an issue of modal collapse in your worldview.
My response to that was that I felt that, and if I'm out of line, Tim can let me know, it felt more aggressive than necessary. And that might have just been me tone policing Tim, or maybe it was accurate that it was more intense than it needed to be, or maybe instead of saying like, this is how it is, if he would have done like the Socratic method of been like, hey, Tosh, how do you deal with this? Because maybe Tim just lacks the answer to fix modal collapse, and maybe Tosh has that answer.
Right. So when I say something like, I think Manny or Cage will be very substantive in this conversation too, because I'm assuming when we talk about true, like I'm not sure we're going about this definition, but you're trying to understand what's true about like all things and reality, and maybe it's possible that all truths are knowable, right? But I know that the idea is to like meet in some kind of middle when we're having these conversations. At least that's what you're trying to do. I think
by being in the middle, contextualizing and steelmanning each other. Yes.
Yeah, being honest, steelmanning, all that.
Being honest about our beliefs and steelmanning the opposition. Yeah. And not treating the other person as an enemy.
Do you think it's fair to say the atheist doesn't have a worldview, or if they do, they're no longer an atheist by your semantics?
Well, I'd say 80%. I would like to say atheism is a worldview, but 80% of them say that it's not, right? And so 80% of the time that I'm talking to them, no, it's not a worldview for them. And so if I'm trying to have an epistemic conversation with them, I have to figure out, are you a naturalist? Are you an idealist? Like, what's going on?
That would be the worldview.
Yeah, it would be something. It would require some kind of system for them to talk to me about if atheism is not affirming God does not exist.
But would that make them a theist? I give you those worldviews. Would that make them a theist in your eyes, or just be semantically by your semantics just make them theists?
I think that atheism is just like a fog of being unaware of absolute connection.
So if someone just, I guess I'm not sure what absolute connection is here, but it seems
that every single thing that relatively exists, all the planets exist by something that everything is connected, right? You probably call that like universe, existence, reality. That's what you think God is.
If
that's what you think.
Infinite regress of like this like.
Well, no, bigger than that, because you believe that something is sustaining the causal chain, because they're not just caused by each other. Something is sustaining that causal feature for all of the things that are caused infinitely.
Even if that sustainer has something sustaining it, right? It goes on. That's not. I don't think it's anything wrong, any logical contradictions with that kind of world, with that kind of idea.
There is still a unifying principle. There's still an absolute unchanging connection.
You see, this is the bit where I actually need someone else to like help me understand if that's true, but.
If there's not absolute connection, then anything that you believe in is in a state of real disconnection. If you're saying it exists in a state of real disconnection, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Can I jump in here? So
Yeah.
to add to that, to piggyback off of it, right? In terms of philosophy, right? All the historic like philosophers that we are literally piggybacking on,
stealing from, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This conversation has happened so many times before us on TikTok. It is all the same thing, right? We're all just talking about reality. We're all talking about that interconnection. Even back to like the most ancient freaking like religious standpoint, which is Hinduism, right? It's the Brahman is the exact same thing, right? This interconnected viewpoint of like quote unquote God. So no matter what, we are still talking about reality. We're still talking about that connection. And the more that you disconnect from it, right? The more that you go away from that ideology, like through atheism, the more that you start denying yourself, the more that you're denying reality, and the more, in my opinion, you start denying science and or the capability of further understanding through science.
Well, this might be the last bit. I think even an atheist might get confused. Is, let me say I agree to this definition, like this unifier, and I could posit some whatever that unifier is. It could not be that maybe I could get this other further evidence to back my claim, but then what about the theist, the Christian? Like, would their worldview still be valid in that point? Like, who's actually, can we both be right, or is only one of us actually right?
The reality is right. Whether we call it God, whether we call it this, whether we call it that, reality is the only thing that is actually maintained 100% like facts.
Because Bobby, it
really
reduces
quickly.
down to it. Sorry, Missy, you can go.
I was just gonna say, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, Bobby, it reduces down to it is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So once we agree everything that exists is what it is, cool. Now we're all right. Okay. And now I'm gonna ask you, what do you think it is?
Well, we can't be all right because I'm assuming you hold
Do you deny
to
it is
God
what
being
it is?
Trinity and all this.
No, wait.
Oh.
Listen to what Shark just said. Do you deny that it is what it is?
It is, as I wouldn't deny it is what it is, I guess.
You wouldn't
Well,
deny
right.
it.
But would there be some ontological differences?
Well, hold on. But we're still right within the fact that we claim that reality is reality.
Yeah,
right?
who cares? Yeah, we might be wrong. Tosh might be wrong. Poop on Tosh. But guess what? During this process, we're connecting, we're understanding, we're growing, we're listening, we're reflecting, we're analyzing, we're echoing.
You're not reasoning.
I guess I could. I mean, it's not controversial.
The context is the reason when we analyze. So, like, I think that the Trinity is necessary because I hold that the foundation or connection is knowledge, right? And I think that knowledge is necessarily relational with a knower knowing what is known. Okay, this is a commitment that I'm willing to make. If you don't want to make that commitment because that language makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to adopt that.
All right. Last question. I'm done. Shark, who do you think is more likely to be telling the truth, you or Tosh?
Both of us, if we're honest.
Yeah.
How is that possible that you both are telling the truth?
Because we're connected by a state of honesty.
Exactly. It is what it is. We
can
look. So look, just how like Plato and Socrates can be.
You see how he tried? You see how he tried to separate us so quickly, man?
Wait, what do you say?
Who's right, you or Tosh, man? Pick one.
Exactly. So in this, it's so funny because this relates straight back to the book that I was going to recommend. Everybody, if you can get your hands on a book called Six Souls, Healthy Minds, How William James Can Save Your Life, I urge you so hard to read this book. It's a short read, and it's about determinism versus free will, and it just highlights a lot of what we're talking about.
What's it called?
Six Souls, Healthy Minds, How William James Can Save Your Life, and he is like one of the founders of psychology.
And from this, Bobby, so now that you know that both me and Tosh are capable of honest expression and communication, but we're both fallible and could be wrong. Well, then we figure out who you want to learn from and why, and that's up to you and your psychological states. And then you'll pick a teacher or a friend or a brother, a buddy, and and you'll borrow some language, you'll figure it out, and you'll analyze, hopefully, how do they treat people, right? Like, the atheists have such a hard time swallowing the pills that Darth Dawkins says, but they act just as evil as he does. They act just as vile.
I agree.
And
Are we still talking about searching for what's true?
yeah,
No. Hmm.
we're searching for what is true because we're bouncing these ideas and these beliefs off of other people. And so if individuals hate how Darth Dawkins treats other people, but then they treat people in the same manner, what does that say about them?
I mean, I agree there, but when I ask you, maybe I'm honest. When I ask you who's more true, you or Tosh, you're just saying you both are because
Only
you're
if we're,
honest.
only if we're honest. Yep.
Yeah, only if we're honest.
How does
If those two things are in direct contradiction.
They wouldn't be, because there's a different context. A contradiction is a proposition and its negation given the same context. I believe that we live in an eternal mind, and that grants everything a context through a different perspective. Tosh's perspective, if honest, is correct.
No, what's funny is I believe the same thing, but I just think all things are the eternal mind.
Tosh, you believe everything is? You believe the universe is the mind?
In a sense, like in terms of like the definition of a mind, it's either mind-like or a mind for me, and especially
Would you hold it to be like a conscious system? Is that kind of what you mean by like that?
So, kind of, right? In terms of it being aware, we can draw like vast similarities to that, right? And just in terms of like how things are so symbiotic and how things are so well just put together, right?
Damn,
Like
fine
not
tuning,
even
Tosh.
exactly, right?
No, not the fine
It's
tuning.
almost like,
wait
it's
a
almost like
second.
contingent reality adheres to the rules of being contingent.
Am I like
Well,
going off?
can I be?
Wait, I really quickly, Shark, I have some tough love. I messaged you. I can tell you it here or tell you it there.
You have
Like,
tough
in
love for
private.
me?
I do.
Oh, you can just say
Fuck
that.
yeah, yeah.
I know, but I don't want to be like offensive with it. I wonder, sometimes you come across to me as a bit, and please take this with love, self-righteous.
I can grant that.
And I think that for some individuals that might be arrogance rather than self-righteousness.
Okay.
And so I,
You know,
like when you're talking to Bobby, right, by saying that he can't, like a lot of times, I think you could think that to be the case, but telling that person that might come across as arrogant or self-righteous, right?
I can grant
Maybe, okay. And that's just the tough love I wanted to give.
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? Your tough love to me, is it fair that your tough love to me is potentially equal to the tough love I gave Bobby? Because Bobby to me appears to be an extremely confused person. Like, not just from my perspective, I think
confused.
Yeah, but you can articulate your position somewhat. It seems like Bobby is never capable of articulating his beliefs, and this is just from my perspective.
Ooh, no, what's really sorry, go. Finish.
Yeah, I can be wrong, right? I'm not trying to attack Bobby. Bobby, if any of my words, cause you dismay or harm, I apologize, right? I think that what happens on this app is people get lost in the noise of division and chaos and just yelling and screaming at each other to the point that the people listening forget how to think and forget how to analyze their own honest experience.
Yeah, that's fair. I think for me personally, I mean, I don't think that's the first time I've heard that criticism put on me. And maybe I'm not on this app to do too much debating, more like get some viewpoints, read up on it, and see if it makes sense to me personally. That's why I want to ask these questions. I'm not asking it because I'm trying to attack you, Big, but I'm really trying to understand what is being meant when I ask you a question. Can you, Tosh, and me be all right at the same time? Because that to me is what's important in this conversation, what that actually means there.
It depends on what you mean by right.
Oh,
if by right you mean honest, then of course. If by right you mean infallible, then no.
Yep.
What about
this? Feels like some kind of idiosyncratic definition.
Brother, if it's not idiosyncratic, then it's just like social indoctrination. Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought that was bad. You know, people say they hate social indoctrination, but then when I tell them I think that definitions are personal, they say, "Oh, that's just idiosyncratic. We shouldn't do that." Okay, so then you're advocating for social indoctrination throughout a language system.
Yep.
Right. I mean, overall, I don't think anything you're saying is controversial. I just don't know. I'm trying to maybe that it's. I understand what you're. Overall, you're just saying to be epistemically humble, right? Like Logic Troll says a lot of stuff like this. I think. Um. So I have no issues with just being like, yeah, I'm humble about my stuff, but I'm when talking about, hey, I want to understand which case is likely to be true. I'm not defining true as like or being right. I'm not
Yeah, but
defining true as
true according
honesty.
to what? Like,
Yeah,
The
that's the
necessary
problem.
structure. There's a difference between being epistemically humble, which is saying something like, where I exist in the language system that I use will be inadequate to truly describe that which exists objectively. That's humility. Saying something like, well, everyone can be right as long as they're honest is epistemic laziness.
You think so?
I would
I'm going to
disagree
push
with
back
that.
on that hard
I
because not everything is right, right? You would have to deny disjunction. Either something is or is not.
Wait a
Say
second.
that everything just is, you erase distinction, and there's no longer any intelligibility. There's no longer a capacity for meaning, which is what you push for, Sharp.
then you
So
would
something has to be right.
you would have honest perspective is right.
It's not about subjective honesty. It's
Yeah,
about
fair
No,
enough.
ontological
no, it's
coherence.
no.
Wait,
It's
wait,
about
hold on.
no. Wait, hang on. No, it's about objective honesty.
How is
How
one
about that?
objectively honest
Yeah, by
when you're
being
living a subjective and epistemically limited existence?
because our perspective objectively exists. My meat suit, my reaction to stimuli, my feelings are objective.
No, they contingently exist.
They're not objective.
No, because they are dependent upon priors.
How are you defining objective here?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Objective is independent of priors.
What does that
That
even
which is
mean?
objective is necessary.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
So are we objective?
he's just
Yeah.
using modal. He's using modal language. Like when we have
I'm
Wait,
using
wait.
modal language. Like, I'm using the language these other people use. So, like, the person who now has to go get a teacher isn't Bobby. And I'm not
Does
doing this to be
does my
mean.
does my
It's
body
like, this is where the confusion
wait,
erupts,
wait, does
Tim,
my
right? Is because
wait,
you
wait,
are
wait, no,
epistemically
hang on,
confused.
Tosh, does my body objectively exist?
No, it contingently
Right,
exists.
yeah, I would never speak like this. I would never. So here, Bobby, here's the difference, right? You would analyze, or I
No,
analyze the
you
right.
want to invoke modal language and then say, I don't like to use modal language.
I would
And you
never.
can't do both.
I would
Wait,
never
wait. Does
speak like this.
wait. Does reality exist as reality, Tim?
Yes, that reality, what kind of reality is it? If all reality is God, like this is my problem with the modal collapse of pantheism. If God is the universe, then the necessary is contingent. And
I
when I
believe
say
in the big bounce.
necessary, right, what I mean by necessary is that it cannot not exist. Whereas contingent things could fail to exist.
Yeah, I
This
don't
creates
think.
distinction between other contingent states because you have a necessary ground. If
Wait,
there
wait.
is no distinction, there is no intelligibility, and
Then
pantheism
not how we're
becomes
using that.
wait, wait.
incoherent.
So please, I need to understand this. Are you saying that like all things, and especially within like a pantheistic viewpoint, right? All things that exist could exist in a different way.
No, if you're saying if all things are if there's this modal collapse, then if everything is God, nothing is God. It's unintelligible.
No. Once again, the totality of all things together is God. It's not any one thing or like a part of it, right? Like that's not my claim. And again, so you're saying like the modal
Well,
collapse of go
yeah,
on.
and even collapses down in the macro. Are you more than the collection of discrete particulars that make you up? Like if I took all of those things and copied them, would it be you?
If you took all the things that I am and copied
If I
them,
took
would
all
it
the
be me?
physical discrete particulars that embody who you are, Tosh, and copy them exactly. Is that other copy you?
That's not really possible, but
It's not about possible, right? It's a hypothetical, right? But intuitively you say, no, that's not me. Because you are more than the sum of your particulars.
no,
You intuitively believe that there is something more than just your physical body that makes up you.
I don't.
You
Okay,
don't.
first of all, like in terms of physical, right? What
So
do you mean?
you're talking about existence. You're saying that God is existence, and the reality that we exist in is a physical reality, is it not?
The reality we exist in. I mean, you
Meaning it can
I
be
mean, this is such
touched.
a hard, like
It can
this
be
is
touched,
down to
smelled,
philosophical.
perceived. This is just hard physicalism. I don't understand what's philosophical about it.
Physicalism is like hard physicalism is literally
Oh dang,
philosophical.
Shark left. This is Tim is pushing back at the point that I want to make perfectly, and Shark just left.
I mean, we can still hold this conversation.
I mean, but that's the point. Like, I'm not too sure. Like, if everyone, like Tim said, it, like if everyone is right, then it's hard to understand who's actually right.
No, but this is the thing, right? So what Shark's saying within that, because like I hold the exact. Me and Shark had this conversation like 2-3 years ago with I think Bear Cub. This when we say truth, we're not saying like our truth, right? Our honest truth. We're not saying an objective truth in terms of like denoting to the exact truth of another thing, right? It's our perspective. And that's the thing. That perspective is a truth as long as it's honest. It's not saying that we know all the things about that thing and the truth about that thing in totality.
That's the lowest tier of truth to strive for. Because, like, for you to be epistemically humble, you have to admit you don't know shit.
That's the point
right?
of saying that.
And so the truth claim doesn't exist in levels of importance at the epistemic level, especially when you're talking about things concerning ontology or whether something exists objectively or necessarily.
It's important for you. That's the point of it. Your truth is important for you, right? So like, and that's the big distinction, right? When we're talking about objectivity outside of yourself, right, and trying to
truth is that purple flying unicorns exist.
Okay, now you're just being disingenuous. Now you're just being disingenuous. Why hold this conversation? Seriously, if you're just going to start making crap up, it's 100% disingenuous. It's like the flying spaghetti monster. It's a disingenuous
your proposition to absurdity to show how absurd it really is.
It's not absurd.
Right? It falls under the realms of sophistry.
He's not being disingenuous. He's just getting
It's 100% disingenuous. It's one to interrupt me in the middle of.
He's saying that he's getting a reductio. Go ahead and just show how he's being disingenuous.
Again, giving the reductio and interrupting me in the middle of my explanation of what I'm trying to say is automatically disingenuous, right? It just shows that you're not actually like engaging with me. You're not actually trying to hold.
I'm sorry, I didn't know this was a formal debate in which I was required to cede time back to you. This is just an informal conversation between two interlocutors.
I like have when we have.
Go ahead.
I'm not really like here for a formal debate necessarily, right? I'm more so like, so you're again trying to show how outlandish my viewpoint is, right? If you're going to do that, I would rather it be in a genuine way, right? And in terms of actually trying to get to some sort of understanding of why I am having this outlandish statement, right? Which is also
Coco, write it up. Coco, schedule it up. You heard it.
I mean, that's what he's doing. Like, he's giving the reductio to show that your view, right? Like, he understands your view, because if he didn't, he wouldn't be able to give the reductio.
He doesn't understand my view.
Coco.
Like, and again,
No, go ahead.
Coco, either you're live or on day of debate, schedule it up. I'll formally debate you on this.
Sure, that's
No,
fine. I
no,
mean, we
maybe.
can. So hold on, Bobby. So we can debate our beliefs. That really is going to get somewhere.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's the
debate.
purpose
Does it
of
make sense? Do you see
debate.
where that doesn't make sense?
What do you
So,
think
so
the
wait,
point of a
we just
debate is?
spent
Because
Cosmic.
no,
We
no, no,
just
no, no,
spent
no,
like
no,
the
no, no.
last
Debate
hour
is whoa.
over the importance of honest and communication. Why would I want you to debate me on anything other than the worldview you actually hold?
Exactly. That's the point of a fucking debate. You understand? Like a debate is two
And why
people
wouldn't I run
grinding
the
it out,
And this is
worldview that
why.
I actually hold?
So I've been having these debates, right, on and off for 5 years on this
Go ahead.
app, right? I find very little utility debating
Mhm.
philosophy, right? In trying to make truth claims about philosophical statements. Because
Then
again, it's
stop making them.
I prefaced this by saying this is my belief, correct?
You're still making a philosophical claim,
That is
right?
my belief. Keyword
Doesn't
belief.
matter whether it's a I don't even hold to it like a
Come
justified
on,
true
if you
belief.
want to, tough.
You're missing
Like
something very
I think
big.
that the beliefs are a
Like if you're gonna
priori.
go onto a philosophy panel, and what the fuck are you doing on the philosophy panel?
I was talking to Coco and Shark, and now it's turned into this, and Bobby. But now I'm getting berated.
Oh no,
for
Cage is finally here. Wanted him Shark to be here.
No, like,
Oh,
I'm trying to understand, right? Like you're saying 5 years of going on to philosophy panels, debating, and then you said you'd no longer do it. But the whole point of a philosophy panel is to understand your view, right? And then get pushed back on it, which is just a debate. Like I don't understand.
I don't.
Like
I
if you're
didn't
not
come
willing
here to
debate,
debate my. I did not come here to debate my philosophical view. I came here, right?
To be fair, Tosh was here enough for those reasons. It all started with Shark and what he
Wait,
was
hold
saying
on.
and my
Hold on.
pushback with Shark.
Wait. We should let Tosh finish though. But yeah, we were having a conversation.
That's what I'm saying, and
not really
this is
debating.
exactly, and this is what I'm saying, right? This is why I actually think that this lacks true utility, right? Like if we really wanted to come with pushback, right? Or like if y'all want to come with pushback, I'll gladly talk to you about this and explain that I have an agnostic viewpoint for panentheism as well, right? Although in terms of my belief and what I find to be my truth, in terms of like the big bounds and understanding like an internal quote unquote universe, right? Or like again, based off of my belief in CCC, that's what I have come to my conclusion for, right? But if we're talking about like actually what is going on in terms of reality, the only thing that I claim as truth is reality exists as reality is. Anything else is our perspective or our presupposition about it.
What did Shark say that makes you so confused?
You're talking about semantic.
Shark says that no one can be wrong if everyone is honest. I said that that's epistemically impossible.
And why would we ever take that as anything more than complete gibberish?
Because y'all don't know what he's saying.
No,
Can we maybe restart?
Okay, well,
What's your goal at the top,
I
Coco?
can't even fathom the statement. I'm not talking about philosophy. I'm just talking about my beliefs.
Oh my God. So again, right? Philosophy is centered around belief, and that's why we can't come to any. That's why we can't come to any conclusion within these philosophical statements. That's why the thousands of years that we have been having these conversations and these philosophers that have been far more well-read than we are on a TikTok panel, right, haven't been able to come to these philosophical conclusions. And that's what's so
the presuppositions are astounding.
Do you really hold to that philosophy?
Yeah,
Do I
a
hold?
bit, Seb,
Yes, and
but,
this is why I said for everybody to read Sick Souls, Healthy Minds, How William James Can Save Your Life. That's exactly why I said
You
this.
said that.
I want to know.
I just want to get it clear. Do you think that throughout the centuries of philosophy that nothing has ever been like solved or resolved, and nothing can come from it?
In terms of the unknown, absolutely not. In
Oh,
terms of
God.
things
In terms of
like
the unknown,
before T1,
that's just like trivia. Like that's not even what I'm asking. Do you think I'm asking like, has philosophy solved the unknown? What if you say the no? I'm saying, right, with philosophy, throughout the centuries of different philosophers, have we ever come to a conclusion, an agreement on something?
Yeah, on certain
Like, have we ever
things.
resolved an issue?
Okay, philosophy isn't something you're supposed to agree on. It's a conversation. If you read the books of older philosophers, they're replying to the older ones. It's just a conversation that goes on.
Thank you.
This is
And
horrible.
also, philosophy is about the nature of things, the real,
No.
true bottom line.
This is so bad. I can't, like, sitting here, right, listening
So
to these
bad.
like dumb fucking positions. Philosophy is only restricted to that of metaphysics, or philosophy is only restricted to that of belief, and that's the main thing this domain quantifies over. Yeah, like, look, I'm not interested in
what I
the
said.
people like opinions of confused people. I'm just interested in why in the world you would ever talk about your beliefs if you're not, especially when they pertain to philosophical ideals or contain contentious philosophical assumptions, would you not be interested in discussing those aspects of your view?
Again, I have discussed this thoroughly for a very long time, and there's a reason why I just explained why my belief in pantheism is my belief, even though I hold an agnostic viewpoint to panentheism. Because no matter what, right, whether it's a creationist viewpoint or non-creationist viewpoint, this exists. And whether I call it God or not, right, this exists.
No,
But
the issue is not Tosh's position. The issue was my main question, the contention I had with Shark, and because to me, I'm not too sure if all Shark is trying to tell me to be epistemically humble or something like that. Then in that case, cool, we can meet at this middle ground. But when Shark goes on to say this other thing where all viewpoints are right, so all viewpoints lead to truth, I'm not sure if I can be right, Tosh can be right, Forrest be right all at the same time, or we all could all tell the same truth. And that's the part where I'm not too. It's unclear to me what Shark is saying there, and I think that's the part Tim was trying to make a pushback, and then led to you, Tosh, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I don't mind holding this conversation, right?
That part when Shark says is the actual part of contention, not so much your own actual views, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right, and the only thing that Shark was saying, right, and this is what's baffling to me, that people are like attacking it and saying that it's like gibberish or nonsense, especially within like a philosophical context, right, is the id, right, and the truth of the id is extremely important in terms of being able to rationalize the self, right? We're not talking about being able to rationalize the objective outside of you in terms of being able to rationalize the self. And like,
I think philosophy does that. Like, you don't think philosophy
Age, you're
talks about...
so far out of context right now.
I don't know who you think, like, I don't know what it is you think you're commenting on, but it's entirely confused.
Cage, you don't know what we were talking about. That's why I'm saying you're so far out of context right now.
Okay, I'm interested in the claim I did hear you make, and the claim was something to the effect of you not being interested in philosophy, given you've had these conversations, which somehow makes you experienced.
That's not what I said.
You're not, so you are interested in discussing the philosophical aspects of your view.
I love having philosophical conversation, right?
No, that's not what I asked. I asked you
if I could
you were
finish,
interested.
maybe you would have like understood exactly what I was.
I mean,
are you lagging, Cage?
No, I
We're
asked you.
professional philosophical gooners. You don't get to finish.
I asked you, would you be interested in speaking about your commitments on your view?
Sure.
Okay, so then if that's the case, then let's just talk about them, because they're divorced from whatever Shark's confusion is.
Look, again, this has turned into a conversation about my viewpoints, right? I was not here in the beginning to talk about my viewpoints in terms of that. I was here to talk about Shark's viewpoint and yeah, he's calling me. I was here to talk about Shark's viewpoint and also discuss what Coco and Shark were talking about, and then also jump in with what Bobby was saying, because I think there was a lot to learn from there and to learn in general for anybody that was here, right? Now it's turning into a philosophical debate about my viewpoint of reality itself, right?
No, just really anything. And yeah, that's typically how conversations go. They change and they evolve and they grow.
Yeah, 100%. But again, it got dragged into something that I was not like intending to be here for. Again,
Are you just saying you don't want to talk about your view? Is that it? Like, just say that instead of this long, drawn out, like 5 minute soliloquy.
I said that in the first. I already said that, right? I said that I did not come here
That's a contradiction because I asked you, did you not say, are you interested? I asked
Cage,
you,
why are you being such an office,
Cage?
bro?
Are you? Oh no! Here we go. If we're gonna steamroll, right? Are you saying that? Am I interested right now, or am I interested in general?
When I said to you, you told me or made the claim that you were generally uninterested given your 5 years of talking about philosophy. There's no utility in the conversation, and as such, I don't talk about it. And you said, no, I am interested in talking about my view. I said, okay, well, let's get your view. Then you gave me your 5 minute unskippable cutscene history of a conversation that had no relevance to your claim. So now, when I ask you to talk about your claim, now you don't want to do it. Or now you do want to do it, but before you didn't want to do it. It's just contradictory nonsense. I just want to know, do you want to talk about any commitment that you have philosophically?
Right now, sure. Why not?
Wait,
okay. What's one commitment you have?
My commitment is that my set belief is pantheism with an agnostic viewpoint of panentheism.
Okay, justify that. And what I'm not asking for.
You're such an asshole. Bro.
He is. He's just antagonistic.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
Just let him finish with Bobby, bro.
What I'm not asking for is a justification for panentheism being true. I'm asking you to justify your belief in the matter.
Okay, my belief in the matter comes from the fact that reality exists, right? So the two different viewpoints that I hold based off of reality mainly come from like the expansion period and or like what people call the creation period, which is not creation period. And like what that has told us and or like given us in terms of information of what quote unquote came before or what's possibly coming before.
I think. Do you know what I'm asking for when I ask you to justify your belief?
Proof?
Proof of what?
My belief?
No, I think I can grant that you have that belief, dumbass. What I'm asking you for is give me the evidences that make it reasonable such that you hold the belief.
What did I just give you?
You gave me some weird history on how you gathered the
tell him to
belief.
go eat shit and then ignore him and talk to Bobby, bro. That's what you want to do. Like,
Cage, wait, Cage. Why are you fighting him? Like, we're not in a boxing match.
It's really funny. It's honestly funny. And I love that you, Cage. I love that you dipped on a conversation about like injustice and oppression, but you are now engaging so hard in calling me a dumbass based off of this, right? You are so disingenuous and so far off of the mark. If you can't get your emotional regulation to the point of actually being able to hold a rational conversation, what is the point of these conversations? And this is exactly why, I can overtalk you forever, dog. I've had this exact conversation with so many different people, and it is just trying to antagonize people and get under people's skin to try to get to the bottom of their minds. And it is nothing more than manipulation. It is sad. It is freaking manipulative as all hell, and I really think that you need to sit down.
But all right.
Yeah, when you call somebody a dumbass and antagonize the shit out of people, you're gonna get an emotional rise like you want, like you do on Xbox Live or PS5 or whatever PC game that you do and grew up on, right? This is exactly what happens in this conversation all the freaking time. You argue about dumbass shit, and this is why I said the utility of this is not very high.
All right.
Well, I agree that you. Well, can I respond to that or no?
Go for it, Cage.
Hold on. Guys, like we don't have to turn this into like a mudslide fest.
All I asked for was justification on his view, and it's got him hot and flustered. Even though he spent 5 years doing this, right? This shouldn't be hard.
You call me a dumbass, have been condescending as fuck from the beginning, and been an absolute asshole. That's why I'm getting mad.
You don't know what you're talking about. You have literally no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god.
You are rage baited.
This is far beyond. Shark is no longer here. He was the only one.
It's like Cage is like the opposite of Shark.
All I asked for was justification for your view. You gave me some weird causal history, and then you crash out because I asked you to justify your view.
Where in my justification or my explanation of my justification was I wrong?
The fact that you didn't give a justification. You just explained the belief.
What is what?
Do you know what epistemic
Well,
justification is?
can you tell me exactly what you want in terms of a
I already
justification
did.
other than explain? Then what? Like other than explaining my belief and explaining the parameters in which I believe it, based off of science and or our observations of reality, what else can I say?
Yeah, okay. Keep in mind this guy spent 5 years talking about this. So let me explain to you what I mean when I ask you to justify a belief. What I'm not asking for is, please, can you expand upon the proposition that you have an attitude towards, if true? Can you expand upon the causal history in which this belief was formed? What I'm asking for is what makes this belief, right, this attitude towards the proposition, intellectually right or proper to hold in terms of how it relates to the truth of the matter, given the evidence and reasons that support the truth of the matter. I'm not asking you for your, like, what you ate this morning, how informed in your belief. I'm not asking for any of that.
There's no possible way to prove and or root this within absolute truth. That's why it's a belief.
Did I say absolute truth at any time?
But all he's asking for is you to rationally justify your belief. I can rationally justify most of my beliefs.
Thank you. Somebody on the panel doesn't thank you.
You could have said it simpler and not use a lot of words, but rationally justify any belief you have. That's it.
And by the way, I don't know what absolute truth means. It seems like I didn't use any of that language. But I mean, just for the sake of conversation, whatever it is you interpret me to mean by a proposition that's true, I'm fine with it.
By rational, I mean in accordance with logic and reason, okay?
No, not you. I said, and you've been doing this for 5 years. So I imagine you have like a standard response you give. Like, are you foundationalist about the matter? Are you some type of infinitist, coherentist? Do you have like a new contemporary view?
I guess maybe like I don't really go too deep into the semantics of this.
5 years, folks. 5 years. 5 whole fucking years in this practice. And he has no idea what I'm talking about.
You haven't debated this for 5 years. Just recant that statement and move on. Please. Being an autist.
I have been when I said that, right? I am not talking specific about just philosophy. I've been having debates like this and or about other subjects for 5 years on this app. That's not.
I say you've been talking about philosophy for 5 years.
And knowing what epistemic justification is like probably like it's like learning how to like learn like
tier zero.
How can I just don't understand how can I justify a belief? Like where can I ground?
So like when I say let's say I have like a sort of theory of like epistemic justification, right? So I say that I'm like a coherentist, like Cage was saying, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how my beliefs sort of create this coherent narrative of commitments, right? That enable one or the other to be true, right? So it's sort of like something like that along those lines, right? Or like if I'm an infinitist, right, or a finitist, right? There's like an infinitist would say that like each commitment's going to be justified by a prior one, like infinitely, right? It's going to be an infinite set of. No one really believes that shit anymore. Stuff like that, right? Everyone has their own sort of flavor of how they go about verifying a specific commitment, right? But you can even argue for that as well, right? So
can I ask this clarifying question? Would Hume's copy principle be some kind of epistemic view that he needs to justify?
Hume's copy Cage, answer this question, brother.
The copy principle basically you can't know anything unless you've experienced it.
Oh, you're talking just about like basic like empiricism. Well, that's just a view of like epistemology, right? Like
it's a view of epistemic justification in the foundationalist camp. It just thinks that we have properly basic beliefs, and yes, he would have to justify it, or that's how he justifies what he knows.
Wouldn't that just be what's the word?
But to derail from the point, Tosh, the reason why I'm harping on this is because you said something so confused that I hear a lot of people say, and I think it's important that you really reduce it. What you said was, I've spent 5 years doing this, and I think that philosophy has no utility. So presumably you spent a
That's not what I said.
sufficient amount of
That's not what I
time.
said. That is not what I said. That's
Oh,
why I'm
you
saying.
didn't say there's any utility?
No, what, Cosmic?
Because what you said, what I heard you say, and you can correct me after, was I've spent 5 years doing this, and there's no utility in talking about philosophy, which presumably means you spent a sufficient amount of time engaging with the substance, reading the literature, seeing what it is these people are saying, and deemed it not useful. But on its face, you spent 5 years doing this, and evidently nobody's ever asked you to justify a belief, such that you have no clue what that even fucking means. So I think you're drastically unlicensed in commenting on anything about philosophy if you have no idea what these primitive things mean.
I mean, I didn't know what they meant until I started studying it, so.
And this is what I'm saying, right? So before like this became a space of like truly digging really deep into certain definitions of words, right? Certain aspects of
I said that's not what's going on, though. I mean,
did you what did I just say, ISO?
Yeah, you said that we were diving
I'm not
into
talking
semantics.
about definitions. Nobody's
Yeah.
talking about semantics. Nobody's talking about fill of language.
Yes,
Nobody, not a single
you
soul.
just said I don't understand certain primitive talking points, right?
Yeah,
within this.
epistemic justification, dumbass.
It's a concept, brother.
This
That's
is what
very
I'm saying.
important.
How many times are you gonna call me dumbass, Cage?
When you make claims that are so, it's like if I came up to a scientist, like some type of, I don't know, cosmologist, and I said, well, you know, cosmology as a general field of study is just, it has no utility, so I just do away with it. And then he
That's
asked
not
me what a star is, and I have no fucking clue what a star is. It's just ignorance.
Okay. So again, right, when I was saying within philosophy, right, I'm not saying that philosophical debate and or conversation does not have utility. I'm saying
Literally exactly what you said.
Specifically, and again, like this is what like context, and I may have misspoke in terms of like truly articulating what I meant, but what I was saying is debate about the unknown, specifically within philosophy and philosophy, specifically about like theology, it just lacks a lot of utility.
I cleared that up. I cleared it up and said, right, but that's not what I was asking, right? Because what you said was what Gage is saying, and then you said about the unknown, and I said, well, that's just like fucking trivial, right? Like, of course we're not going to solve anything if it's fucking unknown, right?
That's
but then
what
you argue as if the things that could be known.
What is the prompt right now?
The prompt is that you said something so wildly unjustified and so wildly ignorant
Cage,
that
what is
nobody
the
in their
prompt?
I can't read it. He's on pause.
The prompt is about Christianity.
Yeah, but okay, you like appealing to conversations. You made a claim about Phil.
Yeah, you did. We were talking about philosophy. When I came in, you were talking about strictly philosophy, right? Philosophy is implicative. Now, yes, theology might be involved in that, but that's not. Like you're saying, simplicative, right? Like you're involving the other thing.
That's what I was talking about, and this is what I'm saying. I'm trying to articulate what I meant in that previous statement, right? I'm talking about either the unknown or these theological standpoints, right? I'm not talking about philosophy in general. And I'm sorry if I did not preface that correctly in the beginning. And again, I don't know a lot of stuff, right? The stuff that I know is very subjective to certain portions of this.
Right. I mean, I'm not sure it's useful to press Tosh on this because I'm not sure how interesting that is.
Yeah, I mean, Tosh, like, to be honest, bro, you walked into a room full of Phil bros.
Yeah, the issue wasn't Tosh.
That's why they're upset. It's because you disrespected philosophy.
I didn't walk into a room full of Phil bros. Y'all walked into a room that I was already in, not talking about this stuff.
Well, I mean, Coco's a Phil bro too. It's like the sort of the community.
Wait, am I? It would be an honor. No, that's
no. I mean, not necessarily, right? I'm
that's
saying
a slur, and I'm not
in the sense that we're all fanatics of philosophy. Is that better? Fanatic philosopher.
I like that. Fanatic philosopher is cool.
That's like the N word with like an A instead of an R.
No, yeah, people don't like Phil Bros on this app, Coco. No one likes Phil Bros.
Wait, hold on. Am I considered somebody who studies philosophy by the community?
I don't know. I haven't heard you debate too well. I'm gonna be honest, brother.
But the issue was with Shark. The Shark is gone.
Can you reset your goddamn gift goal?
Yeah.
I haven't heard enough dumb fucks in between between each time you make a statement, and when you get to that point, that's when I'm gonna be like, yeah, yo.
Manny, did you hear anything Shark said before?
No, I sort of left. Yo, Coco, I'm gonna be honest.
I appreciated the fact that Missy told him that he's very self-righteous.
Yeah, and also like Coco, you're like what, like 27, dog? I don't know. Like it was weird to me. Like it was like they're infantilizing you. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I mean, like I didn't find it weird. They're just like teaching me stuff. I'm chilling, you know. I'm
I
just
feel
at
you.
work, bro.
You know, shit. Like, you got it, bro. You can set your own boundaries and shit. Like it's not like someone gotta do that for you.
Yeah, let me clear this up. Tosh, do you believe that about philosophy or no?
That philosophical debate is useful?
Yeah, would you say it's useful?
Yeah, overall, it's 100% useful.
Okay, thank you. That's basically it. That's all I want to know.
All right. I mean, even when Tosh has been here on this app for 5 years, I never assumed that you're like in the philosophical space. I assumed you're like some other space.
No, in Cage, if you were here for the other live with the topic about Charlie, that's more of where I lie in terms of like my understanding or debate, like is racial or like social issues. But
I'm just trying to understand you. So you think theological debate useless? Political debate though, perfectly fucking utilitarian.
yeah, because it actually is rooted within a reality that is tangible.
Yeah, to the theologist, that's also rooted. Oh my fucking god!
Hey, Coco, start insulting everybody is not rooted in something that's tangible.
Oh my god! Yet obviously not to you, the atheist who's not a theologian, but to the atheist theologians, they spend their life doing something that they view as meaningful.
And unfortunately, I do not think that.
Yeah, I know you don't view it as meaningful. However, the analogs are identical. The only distinction here is your attitude towards it. And if all you're reporting on when you say theology isn't useful is I think it's not real and talking
That's
about
not
Harry
what
Potter
I'm saying
level content,
either. I
then
said
I'm not interested.
no theological debate. First of all, I'm a pantheist or panentheist, which means that I believe in God. I hold theological talking points or like discussions a decent amount in my life.
Tosh,
Right?
between me and you, if I'm an atheist and you're a pantheist, right? What are the different commitments that we have that are significant?
It's not really that significant. If anything, it's more
Like
semantics.
our views are compatible. They're not very different at all, right? So to someone who is a theist, a pantheist would be the equivalent to.
Yeah.
So political debate, as far as you understand, like political debate is contained in theology, right? Like that's like a sector of theology, right? Political debate of the church.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous portion of it.
Yeah, and you don't think that's useful though, right?
I think that understanding it, right, to some degree is definitely useful, but in terms... Sure.
Wait, so like, if an atheist and a pantheist looked in the mirror, they're the same thing, right?
No.
Like we're
No, they're not the same exact thing, but there's just no major difference.
No, and they're also not compatible. Presumably, if Tosh says that the universe exists and it's divine, it's more than what the atheist is doing. But
Right. What do they even mean by divine there, right?
I have no idea what Tosh would mean by divine. I doubt there's a reduction.
Wait, Tosh or Tosh?
It's Tosh.
Okay, I'm like,
Yeah, Coco, that's what I'm saying. The stuff that you're talking with Shark, right? If you were to like, to me, and I think you're just trying to say meet in the middle, but I'm not too sure we agree when you say, hey, everyone has some understanding of everyone is right or everyone's trying to be true.
I mean, I get what he says, like at least in like a philosophical standpoint, right? But when we're into like the realm of like politics or like,
I just think like this is how I'm understanding it. So there's like a capital T, right? There's a capital truth. There's something objective out there outside of us that exists. And all of us are basically what all of us are doing is like labeling it in our own ways. So like Christian, atheist, pantheist, we all have our subjective truths trying to describe this objective thing, right? So there's a capital T and then there's a lowercase t. All of us, we're going to sit here at the table and debate over our lowercase t and how legitimate or how justified our lowercase t is, but we're all trying to describe the capital T, which is the objective truth outside of us, our reality.
Well, I think Christians are the ones who have the elephant, and everyone else is looking at the elephant's ears and feet and its tail, and Christianity is looking at the actual elephant itself.
Yeah, so Shark has like a very good point. Like, whose lowercase t is truly describing the capital T in the best way possible.
We're taking Shark at all more than like a circus clown at this point. Like genuinely, I'm curious. Like when you think Shark talks about distinctions in truth, do you think that's from literature or any informed position, or do you just think that's off the dome?
Do we think Shark is not reading? I
I
think he
think
might
it's
be
No,
reading.
I don't think if you were to ask him what his relevant familiarity with Alethic sources are, yeah, he wouldn't be able to fucking tell you.
I
probably
mean,
not.
I thought he was reading.
He definitely does read a lot. I would say that it's from both perspectives, right? Maybe not as deep as you, Cage. I think that you go very deep into literature, and that shows in terms of like certain just certain levels of your intellect, like especially a
I
book.
do. I think that most people don't read or pick up a book or know what a journal of philosophy or any scientific or academic journal is at all, let alone how to get to those pages. And I think by comparison, when you take the people that can't be bothered to crack open a book or even watch a YouTube video and you compare it to somebody who spends just 10 minutes reading every day, yeah, I'm going to look pretty fucking smart because the other person isn't doing anything at all.
I definitely think that Shark has dove very deep into the psychology portion of this, and that's why he actually can hang in these conversations. But in terms of like specifics about philosophy, I don't think he reads as much as you do. I think that you read a lot more, especially in the debate space, about philosophy than he does, right? And more than most people, like at least within the space that I've seen, in terms of like, again, like your talking points, the way that you conduct your
Yes, we get it.
conversation.
Cage is well read. The fucker studied it. Okay, but he's just saying the average individual in the space doesn't really read any books, and they sort of.
I agree, and that's a problem, right?
And how are capital T truths, like Coco, let's just take that for a second. Okay, there are these capital T truths. These
Yeah.
are lower T truths. What does that distinction do meaningfully? What is employing that actually do with how we use the concept?
I mean, just like, I guess you like sort of have a point, but it's saying that like there's like it's making a distinction, right? Because like, you know, somebody could walk up and say like the spaghetti monster exists, right? And that's like a lowercase truth that's kind of like ridiculous, but there is something that's like objective that we're all trying to like get at and point at, and like, I mean, that's the reason for having these debates. It's distinguishing like two types of truth. One is like personal experience and like opinionated, and you know that opinionated truth is trying to get at something that's like
So
grounded
just subjective
in
and
objectivity.
objective truth.
Yeah.
But you're still doing the same. All you're doing is you're taking fact A, right, and fact B and saying they correspond. Now, fact B can be a stance-dependent fact, your attitude, your preferences, your desires, your beliefs, or it can be a stance-independent fact, an actual object in the world. Either way of what fact B is, you're still identifying a relationship between A and B, such that when you say the word true, all you're picking out there with that word is true, or the predicate, is the existence of the relationship, irrespective of the second member. It doesn't matter what it is. So when I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, what Coco means by is true is that a particular type of correspondence relation exists between fact A and B. That's it. I don't need to ask more about B. I don't need to do some type of analytic reduction on B because it's irrelevant to whether or not there's a truth.
All right. Wait, so
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just trying to take away all of the like, because what Shark does, and I've told him this many times, is he takes your intuitions. He knows what you intuitively lean towards. And then he gets a bunch of facts that accommodate those intuitions and make you feel good about them, and then leaves it at that. But what you should be doing, go on.
I'm saying like I feel like Shark. I don't know if he's ever read into or thought about like virtue epistemology, but it seems that's sort of the. It seems like that's sort of or like something or like pragmatic accounts or something. I don't know, like something like that. Like it seems like that's sort of the vein he like when you're saying with like when it leans into your intuitions in order to make you feel like it's true or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. Seems like something.
wait, so Kate, you're denying lowercase t and saying that truth is just someone's personal descriptors trying to describe like some kind of objective truth, basically.
No, I'm saying, here, I'll get out a piece of paper and I'll draw it because I think it's important.
I mean, Coco, but even think about this just normally, right? Like, what is this truth A, truth B thing distinction doing besides just saying that one experience is objective and the other one's subjective?
I mean, I honestly think if there's any utility in it, it's more so just like a how do I put it? Like a self-help utility, right? It's not
Yeah, I
like
mean psychological use, but
yeah, and that's his background, right? Like he's huge within animal behavior, animal psychology, and also human psychology, and that's really what his big aim
Shrek
is.
seems like a good guy. I feel like he has good intentions, whatever.
So when we're
Cage is
talking
an
about
autist.
truth,
Don't listen to him. No, I'm playing, but he's right. Cage is right in some sense, and I mean Shrek's just. I think Shrek's just trying to spread positivity. I don't mind his message, honestly. It's whatever.
All you're doing when you say is true is you're picking out this little symbol. If you want to think about it in a weird way, think about you reaching out and grabbing this symbol out of the world. And you have fact A. This could be proposition. You have fact B. Fact B could be stance dependent, or it could be independent. Okay, it doesn't matter what fact B is because again, it doesn't even matter what fact A is or fact B because all you're picking out here is the is true predicate. That's all you're picking out is the relationship here. So whether or not you say fact B is stance dependent, so it's T truth, or fact B is stance independent or T truth. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So basically, like when you're saying something is true, you're basically saying like it's either like true subjectively or like objectively. You're moving that middle part out and saying like proposition is objectively, true or subjectively true is what you're saying.
That'd be truth maker. Okay. When you say is true, the only thing you're picking out, the only thing is the relationship between those two things. Just two things in the world, or maybe they're not in the world, depending on your commitments, and you're just pointing out the relationship between them. That's it. When you start saying is true subjectively, you're saying it's made true where you're commenting on a fact about B. Right? You're saying it's made true stance dependent. But if
like
I
I
were
like
to,
water.
yeah, and that's the proposition is that best ever likes water, and the stance dependent truth maker there is his preferences about water. That's fine. Or you could say the sun exists, and then the fact about the matter that makes it true is the empirical case made for the sun existing. That type of stuff. If I wanted to refute this claim, I wouldn't have to talk about facts being stance dependent. It doesn't matter. I just have to deny that this relationship exists. So it could be the case that you have a stance dependent preference, and it could be the case that fact A is there. I'm just saying that this is all you're doing. So to talk about T or T, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so when you say something is true, you're talking about like its relationship to like a proposition's relationship to like something empirical or like
something. No, just
reality.
something. A proposition's relationship to something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cage, I would agree, right? And I definitely think again, like this is, I mean, that Shark's whole entire premise is like semantics, right? And understanding like the utility of our own perspective and also the utility of trying to go beyond that and find like truth.
Well, Cage, now that you're up here and you have these little symbols up, I've wanted to see like a sort of an animation or like, could you describe what someone who's a reductionist when it comes to truth predicates, like what they're doing exactly and how that works, like with this sort of analogy here that you're doing? Because I understand that like with the use of the predicate, right? But like, what exactly are they just removing it, and what are they replacing it with? Like, or what's the sort of like intuition there? You feel me?
So I think you're talking about deflationism.
Yeah, not reductionism. Sorry, my bad.
So these two sentences, I take them. Okay, well, there's debate about this, but I'm gonna make a lot of assumptions here. Don't get mad. Essentially, they're a commentary about whether or not these two statements share the same conceptual content. To say the snow is white is true, and to say the snow is white, is that saying the same thing? The deflationist answers yes. It's saying the same thing there. That these two sentences contain the same conceptual content, the same assertions. And so they drop the is true predicate. And this is sort of employed as a means to get rid of what's called Tarski's schema, which essentially takes a sentence like the snow is white is true. And then what Tarski does, because he's a mathematician, groups this, and then adds the false predicate or is false, and says if this relationship isn't correspondent, then it's a contradiction, right? Because to say the snow is white is true. Perfect. Think of it like in other types of logic where you have box.
So if the opposite is false, then the proposition is true.
I'm just trying to show different why that this was employed. Okay, this is just why people drop the is true, because then you can get rid of that, and it doesn't matter what the operator is on the outside. There's no contradiction.
All right. Well, will you clarify? You're not saying the truth is in the proposition, though, right? Truth is independent of that, right?
No, they're saying that to say the snow is white is true is identical to say the snow is white. The is true is just implied. Now, the reason why I have an issue, or the reason somebody might have an issue with that, for fuck's sakes, is because you're not adding anything, right? Because then you can make it more vague on some cases where you might go, and obviously to say the snow is white, it's intuitive to think that that's a true proposition. But if you make it symbolic, where you make it completely unsure, now it's like, okay, well, if I were to say if P or not P, or if P, P or Q, and then not Q, therefore P, it's entirely unsure as to if the statement is not saying P is true, and it's just saying P. Well, what facts are we reporting about P? Are we saying that P is somehow like linked to our mental states? Because what a theory of truth aims to do, what a good theory of truth does, is it sets out commitments on what it means for a proposition to be true. What it means for a correspondence theorist or these people is to say that there exists, right? There exists fact A and there exists fact B. Like they're committed to those two things. They know that when I say it's true, they know that there's a fact A and there's a fact B. They both exist and there's relationships between them, and it's usually a harmonious one. Okay, cool, we're chilling. But on the deflationist view, what does it mean to say any given proposition? You're saying it's true, but what does that commit you to? They say that which is. But now we're left with a bunch of commitments, or like possible commitments about what it means to be on this view. And that's why a lot of people who might have
So is it just you're reduced, like your concerns with what makes something true is just all reduced down to your like ontological commitments and what you grant existence to and shit like that?
Typically it's like that way, but these people don't want to do that, possibly because of some commitments they have, which might be unintuitive. Think of essences from Aristotle. You might think of people who might have robust commitments on moral facts. That's why they'd want to abandon the view, because then if you were to say that the moral proposition, right, the proposition here is kicking babies for fun is wrong, and you're identifying a relationship between two facts that exist, well, and you're saying it's objective, so it stands independent, well, then fact B would be some queer moral object, like just some box floating around in the world that is a truth maker to that's just weird. So what they do is they say that no, to say that is true is not this. It's to say that which is, and they can reduce it down to this, and now you're just left with proposition. Anyways, that's that view. Anyways, I'm not asking for permission.
Well, wait. So now I really understand, which is so funny because this kind of just reduced down to like what you were saying in the beginning, Cage, in terms of me being able to actually justify my claim. I definitely understand where I didn't justify it, right? I didn't go into why I call God God. I didn't go into like my definition of God. I didn't go into like actually grounding any of the claims that are like talking points I was talking about the universe for, to and how it related to God. So thank you for doing that.
No problem. I'm an asshole anyways. I just sometimes do it out of, I don't know.
Wait, they made a wasteland skin? Oh shit, I'm.
Does saying that something's true even add to its qualities? Like,
No,
this thing that, yeah, like, so it's not a predicate?
There's no, like, you're not adding any extra ontology.
It's a deflationist, no.
So being true and existing doesn't add anything?
No. Like, take, like, Blackburn. Like, when it comes to morals, when it says, you know, X is good or bad, that is a true statement. It's literally saying nothing, right? When you're taking, like when he takes expressions to be propositional, right? Like when he, like with the second order attitude, whatever the fuck he says. The fact that they're propositional doesn't do anything for them, right? Like there's no ontology added onto it when you say X is true or the proposition is true or false.
Well, wait. So I would have liked to ask Cage this because we did have the discussion we just had, but since y'all seem pretty well read in this as well, would y'all want to hear the rest of my justification and like actually pick it apart? Because I would love to like actually know what is wrong within it.
I'll do it. I mean, I'm a Trinitarian, so I have like a prejudice against pagans and people like that, but
I mean, I'm not a pagan, so that's funny. Okay, so like going back to what I was saying in terms of like the universe and stuff, and like I believe in an eternal state, right? I wouldn't necessarily say that it's true determinism, in the way that like everything comes from one like a prior state or a prior thing. But the reason why I call that God is like definitionally, especially like through like the Merriam-Webster definition of God, it's denoting to the ultimate reality, right? And within my theory of what reality is, or at least like the universe, because pantheism usually denotes to the universe, is that it is eternal and it is an eternal reality, and usually denotes to the universe, is that it is eternal and it is an eternal reality, and right, there is no outside of that. If it's eternal, there is no beginning, end, or outside of something that is eternal. And then that's why I also hold the agnostic viewpoint to panentheism, because if that isn't the case, right, then if there is something outside of it, something that is not tangible or not physical, not material, or not physical, because material is different from physical, then the panentheist viewpoint or like a deist viewpoint would be the only other options, in my opinion. Yeah.
No,
Where does it say that it has a beginning? Because even within like Hawking's and like Einstein's viewpoint of it, it's saying that there's either a vacuum or false vacuum. So vacuum meaning like nothing, right? This like this viewpoint of nothing, or the false vacuum as it's acting as nothing, or like it's we think it's nothing, or it looks like nothing, or it presents as nothing, but it's not actually nothing. No, it's an expansion period, not a creation period.
It's an incoherent concept that doesn't even make sense. No, expansion began when you extend Plato from one end to another. Does that mean that the Plato began to exist? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if there's no time is it would be a relation of events, but if there's no events to be able to occur, right? Then what the fuck is even gonna happen? There's gonna be no beginning. Saying that I agree with you that time is just a relation within events, right? But if nothing exists, then what relation is time gonna have with it? It's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be no. Supposedly, if the universe began to exist, then before the beginning of the universe, there was nothing.
Exactly. And that's like in terms of like a panentheist or like a Christian viewpoint, that's more so the idea, right? That there is that vacuum, that there is that quote unquote nothing, and like God created this out of like quote unquote nothing. I've heard like there is some sort, somebody told me the other day that like people are saying now that there is some sort of like primordial material or something like that, which is really interesting, that God used to create the universe. But I think that's really weird. But in terms of like there's what, two different options, and it's as you said, like the vacuum or like the big bounce. It's a big bounce, big crunch, or just like the Big Bang is like the quote unquote start, which no cosmologist is saying. Yeah, big bounce. That's why I'm a pantheist. Yeah, I agree. That's literally what I believe is the actual truth. And I really think that once heat death or do I have to say heat unaliving? Once that actually occurs, the bounce happens again. And like that's our biggest prediction of what is going to happen. And yeah. I'm respect to that viewpoint. It aka God. and I respect that, right? So like and that's why I hold a panentheist viewpoint, because that's literally what panentheism is. So like I hold a panentheist viewpoint, because that's literally what panentheism is. So like I